see what happens there. I was surprised Tesla, Tesla's all the way up to 430. I'm at 426. Right now I'm battling up. There's SMC. I will watch out for those guys today. But yeah, wow. It should be a fun ride here. I have Tesla as the #1 trade idea on here, and it was basically shorting in and around this range. So that number comes out 0.1 better on both sides. So we'll have to wait lower, but better for us, better for the bulls. I shouldn't say for us, but if you're long, you like that number there. So we'll review it as we keep on going. Here it is. We have the Benzinga Pro platform as well. Brendan just brought that to us live. 0.01 versus 0.1 versus 0.2 right there on the PCE month over month. So giving a little bit of juice now to the market. And wow, there we go, man. 427, 430. I mean, maybe the market wants to get going here. How low did Apple get yesterday? I did want to, okay, so 248.
Apple didn't go that far.
Yeah, I was going to say this could be another 250 play here soon for Apple coming back in. You know, the market's shady a little bit, obviously, right off of, I don't know why everyone got so spooked by this. We had talked about it for a while, that January was already predicting, it was 70 to 80% of no rate cut anyways, and then just gets confirmed by Powell. And I guess it's the confirmation that's the problem. I bought, and you guys remember when we were here just a couple days ago, and we talked about Bitcoin, and now I have to refresh the site. But we were talking about Bitcoin and where it was, and I looked at the 50-period moving average, the 15-minute chart on here, and we talked about, hey, we're now underneath, right? And we didn't want to buy Bitcoin just because of this trend. And we had sort of looked back at the 200-period moving average and talked about the last time we had snapped it up. Boom, right up to the upside. Now we don't trust it until it gets back below it. And there it goes. So there's the crash down in. And now we got all these notifications here. But I have since stepped in and I woke up today to a filled order. So right onto here. So I got filled. Here's the 50-period moving average on the daily. We just got right into that to 92, 93 or so. We got filled at 94 and change here last night. So as it was coming through, we get that fill. And I just, to be able to sit at the 50 period would have been really nice. But now I'm just a couple levels down. And the next area to buy for me right down here is, I'm at 84 and change. I think I got to change that a little bit. Maybe I'll just go to 88.
I mean, you know what? It's interesting. I made the same mistake with an order.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know I'm bidding 84.
Yeah,
20.
I got
420, I think it was. But I gotta look back. It is like that support is actually over 85. But then if there was a bigger dump, I would be loading starting at 70. But you got to be able to buy those dips. And
84, 750 is what
like under 85. But then I look back at the chart the other day, and I'm like, oh, if you're gonna buy in front of that level, it kind of should be in front of 85. When you want those, flashbacks.
86, 150
right away. No, you got to do like 86.
No, it's already done there.
142 or
yeah, I just did 150. 86,
150. So like it's 150.
I got filled at 94, 150. That's why.
You know what? It's better picking prices like that than deciding trades via Madden rating. You know what I mean? Like that
would have been smart though. The Jets should do that more often, maybe. The Jets haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. 14 years. The longest streak, I think, in professional football I don't know if it's professional sports, but not 14 years is pretty bad. Not making the playoffs. Half the teams make the playoffs.
That's so bad.
And they spend a lot of money over there.
They are the Nikola of the NFL.
Mr. Buffett selling Apple stock at all-time highs.
Buffett buying more Oxy.
He didn't sell. He didn't sell Apple at all.
He did buy more Oxy.
He sold Apple at lows, man. What's up, Philippe? Right there. He was out of a huge percentage of Apple not too long ago, right? And I think he was still holding like 70 billion shares.
Oh, he's got so much. You have to remember those filings represent like the prior quarter.
Yeah, exactly. But what did he do here? And then to buy Oxy. I don't want to do anything in the energy space, man. I have not. I stopped. Last time I talked about buying XLE was a long time ago, and the last time I talked about selling it was never. So it's not been the greatest. But yeah, come on, man. I don't know. I like you. This has some Intel vibes to this one to me, man. $70 was the high back in April, down to 46 and change. I don't know. There's a lot of names out there, and I'm not trying to say XLE or Oxy is bad. They all look like this, man. Look at this. This is You can take a look at that. Where's Obi? You can take a look at this. But there it is, man. Nice look. Boom. What? This is getting to be close to something as well. Like down into here. This is generally when we're trying to buy this name. Wow. It's a pretty big destruction here in the oil space.
If you look at the monthly.
Raider Trader liked this too, man. And so did JC Peretz. We went to the... You had hurt your leg. You hadn't come then. I believe your Achilles. But yeah, we went to the a little dinner thing with him there. It was a discussion. And he liked XLE. Wow, okay. Some of this energy space coming unraveled right here.
If you zoom that back further on that daily level, like pull out this is a monthly chart.
What the hell are all those things there?
See, I'm trying to figure out. I've never used a monthly chart on P Pro 8.
But what are those?
Doing something.
We've never used a monthly chart. We always
not on P Pro 8.
You never showed.
No, I use like a weekly.
But what are those things?
So I only plot the 50 and the 200. So it must be jacking up the 200.
So it's trying to tell you that what 65 is a buy down there?
Ignore that. The key thing I think is on the monthly that top was not an insignificant one. So when you do zoom it in, the fact that you're running into resistance up here in an upward trend actually makes some sense. And on the monthly, it's kind of breaking trend on the monthly chart. That's the only thing that scares me. But if it holds on to the mid 80s, I think it's probably fine. For energy, but like sometimes you go back and you look at that higher time frame and it gives you a little bit of a different perspective because it makes it not look so bad, but it makes it very important that you hold on to the support. If you hold on to the prior support on the monthly chart, it looks completely fine. And then for a long-term play, you're looking okay, but yikes. That was one heck of a reversal and a clean one too. Like for anybody that you trade reversals, that was such a clean one on energy and still going down. But it makes sense to me that if Buffett likes something, then he tends to be buying it when there's blood in the water. So if he still likes Oxy, why wouldn't he be buying it now or recently?
I just messaged you. I was like, is Randy in here today? Would he get snowed in? Or we woke up to a little bit of snow. The wife went out there. She cleaned up the car there, got ready to go. Tried to remote start it, realized I only had like about 10 kilometers of gas left, so it didn't start, the remote start. So it doesn't start. If you have a certain amount of gas.
Yeah, it's underneath.
Yeah, so I think I had like 25. So I'm one of those guys where, I don't know about you two, because both don't have electric cars. Even if you did, it'd probably be the same situation. So I hate it when Marissa leaves like anything under like 20 kilometers or so in the tank. Like I get nervous. Like I'm one of those drivers where the minute it kind of, like not the minute it dings, you need fuel, but like, okay, so kilometers. So if you're like, I don't know, 5 miles or something or 10 kilometers, I'm kind of like, I need to get gas.
You just never know. I'm the same way.
I get that feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to run out. And then like, I'm panicking. So I don't know.
I'm a conservative type person. So like, that's how I am.
Yeah.
I do not risk it. You just absolutely never know. Like,
no, I'll turn the car on and it'll be on it'll be basically on fumes. And Marissa's like, we could still get to the gas station. No. I'm just like, why take the risk?
That happened to Stevie did pull that on me on that road trip.
Okay, yeah.
It was the same one. I got it. The one I was talking about, the Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And we're on our way back from Cincinnati, and dude's like, and we're going back to Waterloo. Went to school, and he's like, we're gonna make it. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, and it's late.
Yeah,
like, it's like we crossed the border at like 11 something at night, and we still got to drive a couple of hours to get back. So we're gonna get in really late. And he passed. I'm like, yo, we should stop at this gas station on the highway. He's like, nah, we're good. Of course. He's like, okay, now we need to stop. There's no station for all. We had to pull it into some middle of nowhere town in Ontario, hoping that there was an open gas station, and we got lucky. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
I'm not about that life.
I'm like, it's at that point it was like it's like 12:30 at night in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, and we're like 22 years old. I'm like,
That's the fun fact.
Randy, why are you all dressed up today?
College.
I'm saying. Where are you looking? Why are you all dressed up? Okay, well, that's dressed up, man. And, you're normally we're asking you what's that T-shirt is all about. Now you're all like looking all like that. Date night, people are wondering if that's tonight. Potentially date night.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. We travel up north tomorrow in a team bus, so it should be fun.
Nice.
What's up, David? David says, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good morning. Not a good night, because it's still early here. Looks to be very bearish. No, David, it's not bearish at all. Across my list, do you see any Chargers Broncos? Yes, I did. What a good game that was. I think that AFC has some pretty, I don't know if they have the cream of the crop is there, and these middle teams are all kind of battling it out, where you have like, you know, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Steelers, all good teams coming through. Harbaugh's great, came over there, turned that team around, but started building from, I guess, the trenches a little bit there. But that Joe Alt, I don't think was he even playing? I didn't notice. I have what's his name, of course, Herbert in the pool. So hopefully he did good there. He got 27 points, but whatever.
Life is so much, you know what? Having in the NFL, having a quality quarterback or quarterback that you can rely on, that's basic. You know, it's the same good feeling you have when you go to sleep and you own stocks like you know, Apple, like
XLE,
and Nvidia. Like those are the ones where when the market goes down, like you're not freaking out about it. Like I like that. You like that sense of security. It's like when the chips are against you, it's like, oh, you have a good quarterback. Right. Chips are against you. Oh, you know, most of my portfolio is in high quality.
It's like when you have a quarterback that's just always on ayahuasca and all this kind of stuff, and you're just like, you know what, this guy can never win, and then you feel really good about having Jordan Love back there. So you let this guy go for $60 million, and someone else can pay him. And the Jets have paid him $120 million now for 2 years and about 6 wins.
I'd make a Dak joke, but Sharif's not even here yet.
Yeah, where the hell is Sharif? Where is he? These guys.
Oh, we got another super chat here. Uh-oh. I knew this was coming, Kyle. Thanks for the super chat. Kyle Burdett, big Kyle in the house. I feel my fuel gauge like I like my fuel gauge like I like my markets in the red. We know that's how you feel. So I was kind of wondering.
I don't not. See, that's the wrong way. Oh God, Tesla is really ripping.
Tesla's flying. What's crazy about it is, don't think I didn't see you this morning in the chat, Kyle, because it was like the third message in the chat this morning was Kyle ho 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 when the market was down 1.5%.
Yeah. Now he's like.
But now all of a sudden things are a little bit different. So you have to be able to pivot.
Oh, ayahuasca's Aaron Rodgers, not me.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is.
Oh man.
That what he's starting to play.
The thing is that
I'll give him some credit.
Look, honestly, I don't. I've never been into, and this is the honest truth. Like, there's a lot of these shrooms places that are opening up all over the place around here. So I don't know what's going to be happening with that business. We've had a couple guests on here before talking all about that. So that's the next space right there. So I'm not anybody that's doing that. I guess there is some positive benefits to it. So, but okay, there it is. Does that mean jail time if you do that? Okay, there it goes right now. 430 right there now, breaking on Tesla. Tesla's up and away. Look, Tesla was 410. Like, ladies and gentlemen, an hour ago, Tesla was $410. It's now $431. Like, that's a $20. Like, how much of a move did we even have all yesterday? Like, we just put in $20 there. That's $450. Everyone thinks the sky is falling down here when we get to that $430. We just did that in an hour. So let's wait to see what happens here with Tesla. But so far, so good. All right. Oh, we have Michael Noss. Michael Noss waiting in the wings to tell us to buy or sell everything. Or maybe not.
Buy it all.
Let's go find out.
Michael Noss is very excited about this current sell-off. I saw you were tweeting the other day that you bought a whole bunch of stuff just because, but I was in that same boat. Fed Day, I guess it was, when we had the initial move downside. A lot of things coming into levels that look pretty attractive at this point. Tell us why.
Yeah, it's bull market. I think you got to buy things in a bull market. So yeah, that tweet, just to reference, I'm going to be sharing more of these algorithms soon, but I have a whole bunch of mean revision and pullback algos. So of course, on Fed Day, they were just lighting up. And it's one of those, my tweet was just sometimes you have to hold your nose and listen to the system. So if this was a bear market, I probably wouldn't be as excited, but because it's a rampant bull market, I do think we've got some opportunity here for sure. So the first chart I have is just the SPY, just to show that we're at a major level. We are still over 10% above the year-to-date VWAP, which means that if you started to buy at the beginning of the year, you're still 10% up if you bought kind of every day at the beginning of the year. That's a great sentiment tool. I'm watching this zone that we're at right now. It's kind of exactly where we are right now. I'm looking at the kind of pre-market futures here. And, it's kind of 585, I guess, to be even. If we can hold this zone and bounce, you can see we had prior resistance, we had prior support. We're pulling back into the zone. I know there's government shutdown stuff, but I've been around long enough that it never shuts down, or if it does, it's usually bullish for the market. Anyway, the next chart I have, I swear, guys, I haven't gone crazy. But you cannot tell me that this market is going to enter a bear market and sell off when we have Fartcoin ripping to all-time highs, breaking $1 billion market cap. I'm chatted about this earlier. Again, this is not something I own. It's not something that I'm trading, but I'm using it as a market barometer, because if people have excess funds to buy this kind of junk, then I just can't imagine that we're about to enter a bear market. So what do you do in these scenarios, right? What do you do when the market's selling and, CNBC has that breaking news, crash warning, all this kind of stuff, and everyone's running for the hills? What I always do is I calmly make a list of names that are not selling off. So just a very basic scan. You could do it in TrendSpider, TradingView, Trade Ideas, probably do it with your broker. Just show me stocks that are up for the week, right? Most things are down. The SPY is obviously down for the week. So just show me a bunch of stocks that are up for the week. And I just spent the night, went through probably 100 charts, 125, I think, were in my scan, of names that were up on the week. So I'm going to give you guys some of those names, and we'll see if there's some opportunity. If the market bounces, these are the names that I think I'm going to gravitate to for quick little trades kind of right away. The first chart here is DOCS, and I'm going to explain this chart a little bit, right? We've got the price graph on the bottom. DOCS, is breaking out of this little wedge, and that's sitting around, $55, give or take. The top chart is DOCS divided by the S&P 500. So if this line is going up, this name is stronger in the S&P 500. If it's going down, it's weaker in the S&P 500. Again, the game that I'm playing is pretty simple. I want names that are stronger than the S&P 500 and are making new highs. Look at this daily chart versus the one I just showed you on the SPY. It's sold off a little bit on that sell-off day, but then had a wicked day yesterday, breaking out of this wedge. So if the market's going to bounce and DOCS can kind of break this $55, $56, that's a trade that I'm interested in taking. This next one here is Alaskan Air. I cannot believe the strength of these airlines. The Jets ETF has been amazing. Look at that top panel of the chart, in which you can see it's just making new high after new high after new high versus the S&P 500. Wild, I did kind of a wrap up of the best sectors and worst sectors this year. Crazy that the airlines of all things are one of the best. I just like to look at this chart. We gap up, we consolidate sideways for a period of time. If we can break through this high, it's like $65 a share. Maybe we get some continuation. Again, relative strength to the S&P 500. If you just look at this chart, look at the last couple days, notice that we didn't sell off like the market, and we're close to hitting these new highs with the S&P 500, the relative chart breaking out as well. So relatively strong, and then absolutely strong as well. This next one is kind of interesting. This is Funko. This one I'm kind of the least excited about. But what was very interesting is that this 1250 high on Funko, you can see going back pretty much the entire year, has been major resistance. So if we can get a nice little trade and maybe above these last couple days highs, you can see not as strong as the other ones versus the S&P 500, but those last couple days still held on very well. If we can get through that, and we can get through this $12.50 on Funko, which I think is a toy manufacturer, that's kind of a longer term breakout. So I think there could be a trade there as well. But the kind of point that I want to get by to everyone is that there's two groups of people when the market are selling that I always see. One is, everything's over, run for the fences, I'm worried about everything, all of this. The other do two things, and this is just from all of the traders I've talked to that's been successful over the years. One is you take a look at your portfolio. Anything that's holding on very well, that's probably a keeper. Anything that's selling off worse in the market, maybe you reconsider that position. And then you build your shopping list. You just wait for these names. Now, if we open up and then just completely sell off and crash to new lows, I probably won't do anything with these names. What I'll do is tonight, I'll make another list. If we start to rebound and these names start to break out, I don't have to go hunting. I already know what I'm interested in, and I just kind of hold my nose and buy. And if we have a nice bounce and then Santa Claus comes, then maybe I've gotten some really good names, really strong names at really good prices.
The urge in this scenario sometimes ends up being you want to, zoom out a little bit, say, here's a good level, here's a good level, here's a good level, throw some orders out and just pray. Two things can happen from that. You can get filled on all of them and it'll just keep going. And then you're sitting there going, damn it. Or you don't get anything and we just go right back to highs and you're sitting there saying, damn it, how could I get more? So talk a little bit more. I mean, you mentioned it briefly there. Talk a little bit more about timing in that sense.
Yeah, I think that zooming out and looking at levels can be very dangerous because there's always a level. Until we hit new all-time lows, there's always a level. So you have to be very careful on that. And then I think the key there is waiting for some sort of confirmation, whatever it looks like. For me, it would be a couple 30-minute candles closing positive, showing strength, and doing that. And then I just kind of pull the trigger and buy at market, because if we're going to get a bounce, then I think it's probably going to be pretty substantial. So you have to have that list ready to go. Even have your orders filled out if you want to, so you can just kind of hit buy, because yes, it's unfortunate to wait and say, I want to buy this thing at 10 and it gets to 10.05 and then it rips, or you buy it at 10 and it goes to $8. So that's why a lot of these names I'm looking at to see if they can break higher. And then all I have to do is say, okay, I need to hit the button. I need to get in if the market's doing what it's doing. And then I think the next important thing is to watch that market. If we have a little bit of a bounce and then we roll over and we have another day like we had on Fed Day, you want to be able to just get out of those quickly and then make a new list. You want to take very, very small paper cuts. And then if, this isn't the start of a massive bear market, at some point, we're going to get a pretty good bounce, and it's going to feel real nice if you have a good portfolio of names that you've done some research on.
Maybe we can dig into that a little bit further. If you start a position, have a little bit, and then you get that nice bounce and starts moving, in your favor, how you can build into, something a little bit more along the way. So great stuff as always. I mean, it's not a perfect science, never going to be a perfect science, but you got to do what works for you. Michael Noss, have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk again on Monday.
I'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Thank you very much, Michael. Like and you know what? Understanding what is relatively strong can be good. Like as Michael was talking about, that we were discussing, things like Boeing or Walmart that did not. And obviously, it's a bit different to outperform the S&P, like on a day when it's down. But sometimes it's just about not being down as much as some of the others for a little bit of relative strength that both those had. The other thing worth noting, and just a reminder to everybody, this is triple witching today. There are going to be massive imbalances in the morning and at the close. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, and you already have a bunch over $1 million. Just the one that I wanted to point out to you is that QBTS. There's already a 1.3 million sell imbalance on QBTS, which for this time in the morning, even on an imbalance day, that's actually pretty big. But you're going to see a host of big names on the imbalance locator. But
let me show you something here about Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada's always the best.
So like this right now is what TD Bank looks like in Canada. Like this is 4 million shares on the bid and 4 million shares right now on the offer, waiting to transact right off the open. But not all banks are the same. Like you're going to look here at Royal Bank, which is the next one, right? There's nothing here.
What the?
It's not showing it because it's at 1 cent by 1 cent, but see, it's just bad quote. If you go over to CM, let's have a look at CM. Yeah, actually, for some reason, our level 2s don't look to be right on some of these stocks. So let me just check out what Shopify looks like on Toronto. I just want to show you the difference. So there's nothing on Shopify, but you still have 2 million by 2 million. At the end of the day, it just looks like TD Bank is going to be the one that the quote's actually. Oh, now the quote looks a little bit messed up again. Okay, so at the end of the day, I just wanted to show you guys that there. Now it's reset itself. So I don't know what's happening right here, but this is what we're trying to show is there's tons of volume coming in today on the open. It's more clear sometimes anyways on the Canadian market, but there you go for that. And then look at this. This is a lot.
No buys.
All sells first of all. And then at 925, run for the hills, man, because the NASDAQ imbalances are going to come out. It's very, look, I'll make wrong trades, bad trades, this and that all the time. But it's not a very wise decision to be sitting right now, in my opinion, with too many pending orders. Because Tesla's moving and that's great. And it's going to be 9 o'clock, we're going to go over the list and Tesla's going to be on there. But at the end of the day, this imbalance could come out 5 million shares to sell. And then it goes whoosh, and it just flushes all the way down because that sell imbalance, or the other way around. This is not fear mongering, just letting you guys know that one way or another, it's going to get you. But you're going to have to wait, Blondie. you're going to have to wait to see if you take out this 431 area in order to get super bullish. But like you just dropped right there into 428. So just be careful with some of the liquidity happening here off the open. As Neil said, the switching day where you get all the expiring options, plus it's end of year, plus it's the rebalance. The S&P 500 is rebalancing at the end of the year. So we have all that happening. We talked about SMCI, we talked about Moderna, and a few different names. We'll go over all those as the market starts. We actually have resources for all that too. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk.
All right, one to keep an eye on so far this morning. A few people mentioning this already, but the heart attack in the form of a small cap today. My size, MYSZ, up 315% currently. Tried to get above 6 there a couple of times, failed. 963,000 share float on this, so under the 1 million mark. So just be aware and tread lightly. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video, grab the free watch list. Comes out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. All you need is your email address. Enter that, and then it just shows up every single day. We'll start with crypto today. It was quite the sell-off for stocks. It was also quite the sell-off for Bitcoin over the past couple of days. Here we are, the guys mentioning it's 93, seeming to be a bit of a level anyways. 93, 92,000 coming into play once again. 3 days in a row here for BTC to the downside. Equity is trying to pop here with the overall market, but still 2.5% as far as crypto stocks specifically are concerned, guys.
Yeah, so look, obviously if you're trading any crypto names, have an eye on Bitcoin. Like every time we get a major move away from like 100, whether it's breaking up above or whether we pop back up and start failing underneath it, you don't want to be fighting that trend in individual stock. That said, we're in a pullback mode, and my first thought, and a lot of things change when PCE comes out and then just screams the market higher temporarily. But yesterday I liked Mara for the continuation short. And generally speaking, if a stock is in a downturn and Bitcoin's still underneath 100,000, I still think we're pretty valid here. We closed at 20 and a third-ish, and then you've got like 2070 up top here. The first level, when I sit down, it's at 19, so I'm looking at the prior low. But as Sean said, on a day like today, this is not a day that I would take any pre-market trade. It's not a day that I would be forcing anything at the open. So when we press already into the pre-market low, I'm starting to think, okay, if we go any further, I want to work off the afternoon highs, which is closer to 2065, 2070. Otherwise, allow this thing to settle down at the open, and if 20 is a good level, then work off of this. Comes with the big caveat. Right now, Bitcoin, this is a 15-minute. We bounced off double bottom off that 92 from that little mini crash that we had back on the 5th. So as long as we're holding underneath, 96, which is the prior little bit of a bottom that we had, I think we're good. If we start finding bids above 96, well, then sometimes you got to walk away from your thesis and just understand that it might not be a bear day. We could have just lit grabbed under there and we could be headed higher. But as long as we're under the 96, I just want to continue with the stair-step pattern down on Mara. So that'll be the one that I'm looking to trade today out of the crypto space. But make sure you keep an eye on IBIT. You don't want to be too stubborn about it, man. Like it's obviously was looking a heck of a lot more bearish 30 minutes ago than it's looking now.
Yeah, we just had a nice little move up and then a little bit of a fade there. So here's, again, Bitcoin trades pretty technical as well, right? I mean, there's a lot of volume there. So there is the 200 period again. This is a 3-minute chart, just bounced off 95.5 and now heading back in. So you can see here's again, the 50 period. So that's generally looked at a trend changer, especially on like a 3-minute, a 1-minute chart. That's why I use these things. So right into here, just to give it a little bit more of a look, 93.5 is maybe where we get this little smiley face action down here, where we start to loop up. The 50 period has sort of trended long now, right? So we hadn't sort of looked long since maybe back into here where it failed, but that was 96, 97,000 last night, and then boom to the downside. But there we go. We're finally starting to look like a little bit of a turn up. So that would be an area of support. So 94-ish for crypto on that. That's where I'm long. I got long at 94 overnight. We talked about that a little bit. We'll have the crypto spot down here. So as long as you're on my screen, you'll be able to see that. With Ethereum's the one that's getting spanked too. Like that was 4,100 or so as the high. That's a downside move. So if we do that same sort of math on IBIT that we just did, I don't want view up on here. I got to get rid of that. So here's like sort of where the loop would be down into here. So 53-ish and change for IBIT. So let's wait to see if it can wind up holding. But that's where I'm going to be bidding IBIT 53 and looking for Bitcoin to hold about that 93 or 93.5 that we just talked about. So yeah, lots of quantum names. Quantum names are moving a lot here with crypto as well. So QUBT, QBTS. We just saw a big sell-off in that. Neil was showing me that yesterday. QBTS. We did I don't know if the video's out yet, but it may come out on Instagram where we were talking about quantum. I said, instead of trying to guess all these names, do we have this up? Last time we didn't. That's right, QTUM. We didn't. It's not in our system. Hold on. So this is the ETF that I discussed. They actually own Rigetti as 10%. MicroStrategy's in this name as well. D-Wave, what we just talked about, QBTS is in here as well. But there's a nice move in the QTUM ETF to the downside. So we'll talk about all of this. But yeah, so that's my thought there on the crypto sell-off. I think it's temporary, but I'm bidding again. We just made that move down to 86,000 would be the next spot where I'm looking to pick some more up.
Brought to you by VinFast. VinFast is on fire for the third consecutive month. It has secured the title of Vietnam's #1 car brand, dominating the market with record-breaking sales. In November 2024, VinFast delivered an impressive 16,000 electric vehicles, setting a new all-time monthly high. But the story doesn't stop there. GSM, VinFast's strategic partner in Vietnam's leading green taxi operator, has officially expanded into Indonesia with a fleet of VinFast EVs. GSM is delivering rides that are emission-free, noise-free, and fuel odor-free, ensuring comfort and eco-friendliness for passengers. Together, VinFast and GSM are building green mobility ecosystems, replicating their success in Vietnam and driving sustainability forward in Indonesia. VinFast is shaping the future of transportation. Stay tuned for more exciting developments. Speaking of, let's talk Tesla here. Downside this morning, trying to get back above 430. It failed, but we're bouncing right now as well. Still, 1.5% so far this morning for Tesla in the red. Big number on the recall side of things this morning, affecting the Cybertruck, Model 3, and Model Y. The good news, though, it's, again, just a software update, so nothing really to see here.
Yeah, 694,000 vehicles here, as Brendan alluded to. Basically what happened was apparently there was some issue with the tire signal not properly monitoring. The tire pressure monitoring system is, I guess, not illuminating properly, which can allow to people driving with tires that aren't inflated enough, which is a hazard. That was, I guess, the basis of this concern, though. As Brendan alluded to, there is going to be, or there's already been the over-the-air update, so this recall has already basically been resolved.
As the market is clearly indicating. No one really paying attention to this today, guys.
Yeah, is it going to matter?
No.
Like a recall on a day like today, when you've just had this stock pull back at one point like $80 from the highs, and yesterday, where it bounced. If you're following along, you double bottomed at 420 because hey, it's a big level. It's been a psychological one. That's why I put the over under. We were joking about what's the potential range on Tesla, and I kind of and I was like, 385 to the downside and like 440 to the upside, thinking that you probably weren't going to be dealing with the 440. But then we got the PCE number. So afternoon, where you bounced at 420 matters to me, like into that 440. I think that's the fade spot. But I want to go over under 420 here. Like if we do get a dip at the open and it manages to hold on to 420 for the opening range, I got to start thinking longs, even though I was thinking short today on Tesla, under 420.
You're long right at the top of his head there? Or?
Well, Randy knows exactly exactly what's good on Tesla. No, you got to keep him there. The 420 is the big level. So that's what I want to key off of here today. If we lose the 420, I don't have any issues being short underneath that number. But as you can see, if we're going to press into that prior close, let it get there.
Yeah, so I wrote down here pretty simple stuff on, and it's all the same stuff. So I looked at this, of course, before PCE. We all did. And I wrote down 425 to 430 would be a good short area. It's a nice hold from yesterday. Now we're beneath. Look short with news and the market. I don't really, the news, as Neil said, I was using 430 as the top. So again, we've written this all down. You can go find it at Trader TV. Sean, the sticky note is now out. 430 was the top. It went to 431. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, we predicted this. I was only using this because of some of the levels. I mean, we just talked about it. So I feel like you're right into here. This is where I think the short needs to happen for Tesla. But it was a nice move back up. And again, remember, we're writing this down when we're at 414, 415. So we're kind of lucky. Like if this happens right off the open, we are probably short somewhere in here against the 200 period up into 430 and then maybe even wind up losing. So now it's giving us this top at 431. So we also wrote down, let's not carry this one too far, as 430 could be that top. So I feel like right now we're at a spot where we've really got to decide what to do with Tesla. So for me, I'm going to have to now change the 430 basically to 432. Let's see if this will hold. If it does, great. We'll wait to see about a short back through here. I think we could pop a little bit up into this range, 434, 435 off open, then slam it back through whatever the pre-market high is at that time. So right now it's 432. So if you don't get the opportunity to slam, and remember at 925, these imbalances are going to come out. This could be a couple million shares. We just showed you on New York, right, that we had millions of shares on stocks that don't do millions of shares in a day, right? Like Walmart, 1.3 million. Like that's going to be a much bigger average daily volume piece than that's going to be on Tesla. Tesla's already done 7 million shares. So you could get like a 4, 5, 6 million share blast coming on Tesla. So let's wait to see for that one. But for now, I'm looking, I guess, 425 break short, but patience is going to be key off the open, as of course we have imbalances.
Yes, sir. And, oh, wait a minute. That's not the right one. There we go. This Christmas, everybody, give yourself the gift of smarter trading with Trade Ideas. Don't miss out on 25% off all subscriptions, including upgrades to premium. Unlock powerful trading tools and insights to take your strategies to the next level. But hurry, this special offer ends December 26th. Great day. Use code MERRYXmas25 at checkout to save big. Visit TradeIdeas.com today and make this holiday season your most profitable yet. Shout out to Trade Ideas. And one of the ideas, and I saw this in the chat, and I saw it was Stephen Ford in our chat just said, you have to fight extra hard today. Make sure you have your game face on. The thing about the open today is, and we say this all the time, be patient. On a witching day, I never mind if I'm sitting there and it's like 1-2 minutes in, okay, I'm still not in any positions yet, 3-4 minutes in, still not in any positions. That is perfectly fine today. I don't want to rush into anything. There will be, a lot of times you'll see a lot of crazy action off of the open. A bunch of stocks, especially on the New York, are not going to open right away at times. Like they might take a little bit longer after 9:30 to open than usual. And I generally, I don't want to be in a New York stock between 9:30 and when it opens. I want to be in after it gets the opening print and then let it settle itself down. So I think this is a day that you don't mind being patient. And as I keep looking over, because I know we're going to go back to the desk in a quick second. I keep looking over and I'm like, really? Is CCL not even out yet? When are they reporting this morning? This is crazy. So 9:15. Like seriously, you can't just report at 8:45 or 9 o'clock CCL. You got to do it 15 minutes before the market opens. Whatever, that's the way it's going to be. Let's talk about another name that did report. And it wasn't that good.
Initial move was higher for Nike, but yeah, let's go on here. I was just counting up some of these analyst opinions on Nike as well. There's got to be 10 of them at least, mostly negative here as well for Nike. But yeah, the forecast a bit of an issue here, 4.6% right now for Nike downside, although we are trying to get back towards 75 right now.
Yeah, they did beat here on sales and EPS, but even with that beat, it's worth noting their revenue, like total revenue, down 8% year over year. North American revenue, 8% to the downside. Greater China, also 8%. European, and then basically every single region, we have revenue to the downside on a year over year basis. They also had flat inventories on a year-over-year basis, and their Nike direct revenue dropped by 13%. So this is, despite the EPS and sales beat, this is not a very good report. Tells the advisory group actually downgrading the stock with an $80 price target.
Yeah, a lot of negativity this morning surrounding this, but overall, guys, could be a lot worse if you zoom out here for NKE.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could always be worse. It could always be better. In the aftermarket show, it looked like you were finally getting what you wanted. Like it broke away from that selling that was at the 79 level. You were holding some higher lows. Then the reality of the 200 period moving average came into play, and you can see the 200 has been the death keel for Nike all year long. Literally all year. It just can't, there's just nothing it can do with that level. It just completely rejects it every single time. You are now testing November support here at 73 for a little bit of a bounce. In this situation, I always like to short back into the prior support level. And that 73, we were under it before, now we're over. The next one's up here at 76. So if it tries to fill in that gap, that's where the fade would be. It's one of those where it even trapped some longs because it held in the morning or in the evening. And when it does that and then opens lower, I'm generally favoring the short unless it can get back to the prior support level. So not great for Nike there, despite looking pretty good early.
All right, CCL is now out, but we can have a quick look. So 24 and change. Okay, so 14 cents right now. Nice downside move. They'll get that on the desk, but just giving you a quick little update on what CCL is doing. Not much. Yeah. Was 25.20. It's now out right now. So 14 versus 8 cents there on Carnival. They'll have the numbers up on the desk. But anyways, yeah, I kind of agree now that I look at that chart, what Brendan was saying. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. I mean, when they're talking about a decline in revenues, a miss, I mean, everything was beat in top and bottom line, but the revenue's down 8% year over year and inventory's flat. They were trying to get rid of some of those inventories with the sales. Looks like they weren't able to do that perfectly, so they're going to have to discount even further, which is not great. But I kind of like the fact that you just bounced off 71, 72. I think that was a flush out quarter. I think Nike goes higher from here. So, I mean, I like the stock. It's not down too much here. I think you get a good opportunity. This Will Hill guy here, that's part of it now. Elliott Hill now coming through. Let's see if his little change, his transformation of getting back to, good stories as what they're trying to, as what they're talking about. Like heartfelt, athletic, athletes-based stories with Nike again. We're kind of back to the roots, right? So let's stop selling all these flashy things and let's just go back to sports. And that's what he wanted to do. So let's see if some of that advertising can now go over to maybe amateur sports and things like that. We'll just see what they wind up doing. But Nike still has a chance, and I like that bottom. And if you're going to go long on this, you have the opportunity to do it right now against this bottom of 68, 69. So I think you have a good risk to reward here on NKE, especially with new management. So generally speaking, that's a boon to the stock. I know he's been around for a while. Give it a chance. Let it work. I think Nike can be a long from here. Go sports.
Yay, sports.
Great. NVIDIA back to 130 here, trying to roll over once again, 0.7 in negative territory right now. Overall, chips continue to kind of chop around sideways if you zoom out on a higher time frame. A lot of people were looking at this, talking about this morning as it was down here, and then this number comes in at 8:30. Everything has changed.
Also, is a bit of a catalyst for NVIDIA. I'm not sure how big it's going to be, but it is worth noting the European Commission did approve NVIDIA's plan to acquire Run AI Labs. This acquisition was announced in late April 2024. Run AI Labs is a software-based company, so that could be a potential catalyst for NVIDIA. But yeah, it's very interesting. We've had a really choppy period for semiconductors. Lisa Su of AMD, oddly enough, being named CEO of the year by Time Magazine. So yeah, certainly semiconductors are definitely on watch still.
That is, correct me if I'm wrong, owned by Jeff Bezos. So
I believe Mark Benioff was.
Or Mark Benioff, yeah. Which is kind of interesting. So I was just hearing more guys on CCL. There's more comments coming through here. Huge volume spike right now as it takes out the high as well. 2620 coming into play here. Q4 net income 303 on 5.9 billion in revenue. So slight miss on that side. 1.2 billion EBITDA, full year 2025 bookings at all-time highs and projecting 20% earnings growth with full year adjusted EPS 170 versus 174. So, I mean, it's 3%, not bad here. $26 trying to hold.
Yeah, usually we're expecting much bigger moves out of CCL.
Better than we looked at before.
Yeah, look, it was down at 24.60, so like it was at the lows. It's looking a heck of a lot better. But just for CCL to complete maybe the thought here, this was one. If you look at the daily, I mean, hello, $27, right? Like if it can, it's basically, hey, if you're gonna go, you got to go through 27. So I like the fact that it's reversing this little bit of a pullback trend it's had in this bull flag, but like you got to take out 27 here, and maybe it'll have to happen at the open. So I think it's a little bit less of a reaction than I was expecting. A 4% move on CCL is never really going to be that exciting. NVIDIA now confirmed the double bottom. It was already a double bottom at 27. This day is missing a little bit of data, but you were holding that 127 a couple times this week. Obviously, now we've bounced away from it on NVIDIA, but I think that's still the area worth watching. Of the chip names, like NVIDIA is not the one that I would have looked fade on today. Not at all. Like that would have been as usual, like AMD, and then yesterday was actually Marvell. AMD is distinctly different from NVIDIA. If you can't tell, it's making fresh lows. Like it lost the bottom yesterday. It's underneath the bottom again today, whereas NVIDIA's got a double bottom. So which one would you be looking for the short run? And we keep talking about like, if you favor a stock in a direction, let it be the one that it keeps going. So this to me, afternoon resistance was at $120. It makes a heck of a lot more sense if we're going to try popping fades in that. Yesterday we liked Marvell off this 110, but kind of like NVIDIA, this looks the same thing. Like it's now made a bottom and consolidating off of it, whereas AMD, distinctly different AMD.
Eli Lilly was $1,000. It went down to $720, like down 30% from its highs in mid-November. Closes yesterday $750. Today up to $812 on Novo Nordisk, missing there on their trial. Okay, NVIDIA. Yeah, so I'll just go over to AMD. AMD is one that's on the sticky note here. Like what Neil was just saying there, I'm going to be short AMD. I'd rather look for names that I want to be short on today. So I just looked at 120 yesterday all afternoon. I mean, again, wasn't here, but like, come on, you're fading that for sure, right? Like if it comes back up there, and again, it's market dependent. When you look back, everything looks easy, but we stayed under 120. So as long as we stay under there, I think this is going to be our first spot. And then, as I said, might be pretty volatile here today. So then I go womp, and I just go up to 122. So what I've written down here is between 120 and 122. Like that's $2 worth of range there. I understand that's 2% or a little bit less than that at this level, but at the same time, we could bounce in between here. I just know that I want to be net short in this area, not long. So, and then I wrote down also if we break 117 to the downside, again, that's kind of where VWAP was when I was writing it, but that to the downside here, I think confirms this kind of continued move, right? Here's the 50 period. Here's a downside move there for us on AMD. This is just a 5-minute chart. But for NVIDIA, what time is it? 9:22. Okay. So remember, at 9:25, I can't. These are pairing off. So we used to have multiple millions of dollars on here, shares. And what's happened is, see this paired value? So this just means that, remember Walmart used to be like 1.9 million or so. Now they've come in and they've matched them. So there's enough buyers to sort of offset the sellers. So that's a good sign, obviously, but we still wait till 9:25 to see what happens with the NASDAQ imbalances, which could affect this name. So NVIDIA, better than the market, but not really, kind of still flat on the day. If there's going to be a name that I would take long in the market, not that we'd go long NVIDIA today. Whoa, sorry, daily chart. Not that we'd go long NVIDIA today, but this is one that I'm looking to pick up on dips. We talked about this between like 118 to 115 area. That's actually where the 200 period is on a real daily chart. But for us here today, I think, yeah, this seems to be pretty dramatic, right? We had Tesla down there at 410 today before ripping up $20. So why not test some kind of a long down here, 127, 126.50 for NVIDIA? So if we get that early flush, I think this is where you want to look for a long. I'll probably be short AMD, if the market comes back in. So looking long on NVIDIA might have to be a second thought. But if you are looking for a long, why not 126, 127? I mean, the story hasn't changed for NVIDIA, right? They don't really care about what these rates are. I don't think that this space should really care anything about a pause in January. We have a new administration coming in that seems to be hopefully friendly with China. I mean, those tariffs didn't seem to be that bad. I think Trump gets something done. We talked about it with Elon, why Tesla's been moving up so high. I think there's a lot of possibility for China, not only their stimulus to finally start kicking in. Look, economies all over the world are getting crushed right now. Here in Canada, it's disgusting. Over where you guys are right now, we're starting to cut rates all over the world. There's not one that's in a raise cycle right now. I don't know. I'm not really feeling anything, but if I'm feeling something, it would be the right space. And I think Nvidia plus China, I think we can buy these dips. But anyways, that's not a today play necessarily.
Sometimes Turkey is doing things that are different, but I think even they got in line.
Turkey?
Well, for a long time,
maybe.
they had some interesting economic principles that they were dealing with when it came to dealing with inflation. But I think they've now changed that tune and kind of more along the traditional. No, because I'm pretty sure they were like,
look, I have to admit, I don't know what the Bolivian government is doing right now, but
they were famous. They were famous for going the other direction in spite of all the evidence.
I see that. I mean, isn't the Turkish interest rate
no, they were one of those hyperinflation countries. It's actually pretty sad. But what's not sad is
no
FedEx.
Problems in Florida. My guy says there's never problems
because the weather's nice.
Yeah, the Canadians are down there. The snowbirds. Oh, okay. Here comes the imbalances out. So so Amazon. So not as dramatic as we thought. So Amazon actually catching tailwinds of almost 1 million. So that ticks down to 218. So it doesn't look as dramatic as maybe I thought it would be, right? I mean, Tesla was actually 2.5 million, which was pretty good, but it got paired off immediately. So right now up to 4. See, like that went to 425. Now it's up to 428 here on Tesla. So I don't know. We'll have to wait to see. Doesn't look like these imbalances are too big of a story right now early. Let's go find out more about FedEx.
Yeah, back to $300, back to almost highs here on a higher time frame for FDX, 8.4% right now, better than expected. Q2 results coming through from FedEx. They're going to spin off their trucking unit. Lots of positive analyst notes here as well for FedEx. It was only a couple of weeks ago, I think, that we were up here, but right back to almost highs once again.
Yeah, good look there for FedEx. They did deliver an EPS beat, $4.05 per share versus $3.91 expected, but their sales were a slight miss, $22 billion versus $22.112 billion expected. The other thing I want to note is that their guidance for fiscal 2025 adjusted EPS is lower than expected. So initially here we had 16.45 to 17.45. Then they changed that guidance here to that's their new guidance. The previous guidance here, $17.90 to $18.90. So the lower end of that dropping by about $1.50. It's pretty significant decrease there in that EPS guide.
Yeah, not necessarily a stock we look at on the day trade side of things. On that note that you guys were talking about there, guys, 2 days in a row, green candles here for the Canadian dollar.
Yay. Well, what's interesting is the second you were mentioning no issues in Florida. A bunch of people in the chat complaining about snowbirds and they're driving. I will say that when I'm in Florida for spring training, I'm a good driver down there. But I can't speak for everyone else from Canada that visits the lovely state of Florida. FedEx, they're up mostly because of the spinoff. I think everyone, before the numbers were even out, the first headline to hit was that they were spinning off the freight. And I think that's what sustained the move. And then after the guidance came out, it made the top after you got the guidance, and it's been underneath ever since. I don't think... This is not typically a name that I would trade, so I'm probably going to stay away from it. I feel like in this environment and with the guide, if you look at the daily chart, it gets hard to see. Like there's a lot of chop in here and topping on this chart, and because that guide, it's hard to imagine it breaking it out. But you're so far away from getting those prices, it's like you would have had those. You had to trade that in the aftermarket if you're interested in fading off that top because of that poor guide. So there's obviously going to be a lot of action. A couple of things we didn't get to. Remember, end of the day, effective Monday morning, but that really just means action tonight. SMCI coming out of the NASDAQ 100, Moderna coming out of the NASDAQ, Palantir going in, and what am I forgetting? Oh, MSTR, MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, who am I forgetting? But one of the ones I'm looking at here, and we forgot to mention in the chip space, it's not just because the stock is getting added to the index or removed does not mean it trades that way during the day. But if it's been trending that way, I'm going to favor that direction. So with that, SMCI closed 31.25. It's almost there now because the market's been booming. You also have 32.25, which was the afternoon and early morning resistance. So I'm looking pop and fade on this one as well. The other thing with SMCI is all bets are off with those stocks, that group of stocks, when you start getting into the last hour, right? Like I think whatever you're doing with them, a lot can change when those imbalances, early look imbalances and the imbalances themselves start to come in. And this will definitely be one. But for now, I do like this one into afternoon resistance. With only about a minute to go, should be a wild open, everybody.
Yeah, we are getting quite the pullback in Tesla. Again, we wrote down that 430 area. That seems to have been the top. But again, that was PCE number, so we'll wait to see. Now, I think the market fades out from here, but that's a nice move upside. And if we start to be data dependent like the Fed's supposed to be, it's a better PCE number. So maybe we surprise on CPI and all that, and we get a little bit better feels about where the inflation gauge is going right now for everybody. I was just looking at maybe the TQs, but that's not going to be a trade for us yet. We don't have too much time now, with only 20 seconds before we shuffle up and deal these cards one more time here today. Yesterday's close 80.5 right there for the TQ, so we'll watch out for that one. We'll watch out for NVIDIA and Tesla right off the jump. NVIDIA still at that 130 marker. Here we go, less than 10 seconds to go. Today's opening bell brought to you by Trader TV Live and Adara. What's up, Adara? How's it going? 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right. So we're going to watch this market open just off the jump here. AMD was something that I was looking at to see if we could get anything going on. Right now, not doing too much. Uber. I liked Uber as a dip buy, so I'm bidding near 59 for this. This was a name. Okay, well, now our quotes just are a little bit too much volume right now, maybe coming through on the quotes. So I don't have anything right now on on Uber. Let me go back to something I've already looked at today. Tesla quotes. There it is. So 427 and change. It looks like a nice little bounce there off of 425, but not too violent off the open. So this has actually been pretty good. Well handled. A lot of these volumes seem to have been fine. Not really moving too many stocks all over the place. The short that I wanted. Also, we didn't get to talk too much about this was Micron up there near that $90 mark. That would be sweet if we got that. That was sort of just a psychological mark there. Didn't think we could get to it. So now we'll use 86 maybe as a top. But yeah, right now, just letting things settle down. It's only 2 minutes or less than 1 minute in right now. 119. Okay, so we're staying at 120 for AMD. This could be one of the ones that fills us first.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the few things that's actually moving, to be honest with you, is AMD. Like, you expect volatility on this day, and we're not seeing it. So, SMCI I liked at 31, and it's 31 quarter. It's at 30.90 trying to go. But yeah, you might actually move the most here on AMD. Let's see if it gets higher. I am keeping eyeballs on Bitcoin and Mara as well because I wanted to pop and fade. There we go, Mara. Into yesterday's highs. You still haven't really broken away from the range. So there's a lot of gravity towards some of these even dollar levels. Like this is just not breaking away from 20 even. So a little bit of patience. We said on a day like today, you don't mind if you don't have anything early. That's not bad on a witching day. Okay, here comes Tesla. Tesla's actually starting to accelerate a bit here to the downside. So this one's now coming in. Obviously 420 is a big, big level. Double bottom yesterday at that 420. Keep some eyeballs on that. But outside of that move in Tesla, not a heck of a lot yet. So I'm not rushing in anything. I'm not chasing moves. We're still within that first 5 minutes, and it is a witching day.
All right, so I just put on, I'm like Neil, I don't want to chase anything, but we are chasing AMD a little bit, but with very, very small shares right now. Like I said, did we miss the top? I have no idea here as the market trying to get a little downside right now. Yeah, you're right. Tesla's at 420 right now. I'm going to take a little bit more here on AMD and now just give this up to 120. It's like basically slow down here on that one. I wanted to look at how... Yeah, it's nothing. It's just talking about calls right now. So Palantir, going to be a difficult name for me. I'm going to stay away from this early because of all the rebalance. I'm doing sort of that same logic there, staying away from some of the names that are being rebalanced, like in SMCI, just off the jump here, right? If it gets going, and we'll be all part of that. But right now we are short on AMD. Giving up to that 120 marker. We wrote down 120 to 122. We don't want to be put too much offside on this, so let's let it settle down. We're short right now at 118.70. Those are not the levels that we wrote down. We just got a little excited there thinking that maybe we missed this move on the market, but apparently we did not. So let's settle down. 118.70 right now, short. Uber's trying to come back in a little bit. Tesla did the bounce at 420, right? Is that what it did? Yeah, basically it did. Almost exactly there. Wow. Okay, that Tesla bounced off 420. So here it comes back in right now. Let's see if it takes it this time. Tesla having a day right now, back and forth. 420, 425, 420, 425 twice. So maybe a break lower. 420.50, that's not a bad opportunity if you're looking for a short there on Tesla 420 break. I'm still in AMD and that's it right now.
I'm contemplating the break. I wasn't going to take it, but the longer it holds, I want to take a look at it.
That's what I'm
The
thinking.
over-unders now happened a couple times at Mara, so I wanted to see that 20 level. It just held a second time. Under yesterday's low, if we come to the chart very, very quickly, underneath yesterday's low, we'll give it to the top currently today, and if it breaks out the top, we'll back away from it. And then SMCI did do a last-ditch effort to try to take 31 and didn't. Thought I canceled those two. Try to get on the way back down. Like it's got a clean double top here at 31, which would give me an easy out on SMCI, but I'm trying to get filled on the way back up, and then see if we can work just off of this even dollar level. And then, as you just mentioned, Tesla, I mean, it's going to be a decision. I wasn't planning on taking a breakdown trade, but if it sets it up with a better consolidation into that level, it might be worth a shot. It's the same thing as a break up. You just very, very quickly get in, and I usually have a very, very tight stop. QUBT just went.
Oh no, it did just offered.
Yeah.
Well, I just heard an offering there. Was that QUBT offering?
Was it
maybe?
QUBT or QBTS?
Yeah, QUBT. Here it is right here. No, I have it right here. So here's the Benzinga platform here. Rate it right here. There's right there. She can get it, but we have it right here. Quantum. So there is QUBT offers registers 8.96 sale, 2.9 gross. That's it. So at the end of the day, yeah, not really affecting the stock too much, but you can get pressures on that. So we'll see there for QUBT. That Rigetti, I liked it at 850. All right, so yeah, obviously not a trade. The 850 marker was, or was it 750? No, it must have been right here. Yeah, 850. Trying to break this level, I was thinking there for Rigetti, but some of the quantum names still going back down to the downside. So RGTI downside. It's funny to see because I'm in NVIDIA, or sorry, I'm in AMD, which is going up. Meanwhile, NVIDIA right now is thinking about pushing the lows. So my thought here today was the other way around. I was like, why would we short AMD? Why would we short NVIDIA versus AMD? Looks like that would have been the better call, because if we had just shorted this instead, we would have just took $1 and change on that
and
trade.
like,
meanwhile, I'm fighting
I
AMD.
went to SMCI instead of Marvell again. Like Marvell did the same thing it did yesterday at the 110 level.
A little bit more here.
It's like, oh, maybe you just go back to the well. That's not even meant to be intentional. With Marvell, is it just goes right into 110. It is what it is.
The market rips here.
We're in, but the market is actually ripping. So we're probably just gonna get out of Mara. I said I didn't want to be in something too early. It failed the $20 level, which we like, so we grabbed it. But if it breaks this top, you're gonna get out and just back off to the next level. Tesla's continuously bouncing off that 420 level as well. So what else is moving? I see a lot of people talking about Micron. So I guess Micron's on the move. And yet, to the downside, Micron looks like it's going to be a weak one. It's just the other chip names. Should have just stuck with, if it was a good short yesterday, you could have just gone back to that one. I should have just been in Marvell, I suppose, because that's just chilling out at VWAP.
I mean, here we go. Now we finally gained some money back in now. So here we go. Now we're in the money now on AMD. So again, we only took a small short there. We were waiting for 120. It got to 119.75. So again, if you're a little more patient than I am, maybe you have a few more shares up there. But we will cash something out here at 119 and see if we can come back in. So it's not in the money yet. We'll spin that because it came back down. But unrealized profits right now on AMD. So let's be patient with that just to see where we go. Apple week. Okay, so that's what we're trying to find, is some little bit of weakness. Palantir just crossed up on my scanner there, because breaking day's high. So here goes Palantir right now, breaking through 74 basically would be a level that you're looking at for the break higher. So Palantir right now starting to work itself out to the long side now for Palantir. I want to short Micron, guys, but it's going to have to be $88 for me now. We were talking about 90 earlier. Up into here would be real nice. Let's break $86, the pre-market high. And we're not too far away from it. Come on, AMD. Let's go, Dara.
Is a bit of a negative catalyst here for Micron. Beyond day 2 earnings, you can look at this 15-minute chart. We sold off pretty much all day. We also have Barclays, though, today, lowering its price target of Micron from 145 to 110. Also, lots of these small caps on the move. HSDT moving around here, as is MYSZ. So looking for small caps, there's definitely some options popping up here, guys, in addition to MU. Back to you.
That MYSZ is a halt with a tap of $6.40. So near, but not at the actual high. Just a volatility halt, so it should be open in 4 minutes, more or less exactly. So just be careful with this one. There's a lot of big movers. That QBTS, the quantum names, not really moving as much as you would expect after that offering. CCL tried to break that 27. It abjectly failed. It's now right back underneath $26. So this actually dropped $1 off of that high in the daily. Still holding VWAP, so there's still a chance. Obviously, they hadn't reported yet, so you can't really put much on your list, but we had mentioned the 27 level, a monster one here for CCL. If it can break that out and make another run at it, I do like the shot there in CCL after their earnings, but it's going to have to do some work. And here comes Tesla. Tesla did bounce off 420. So, guess what? You're not taking a 420 breakdown if it doesn't actually break the level. So Tesla working its way back to the upside as the market is starting to scream. I guess that means for me, wait for 440 on this bad boy because it's starting to go. I thought really it was going to be more of a red day than this, and the market is blasting higher. Apple didn't get to 240. Why is Apple at the low of the day?
Really? Okay,
that's curious to me. Now, I'm going to stay away from Apple. This is a name that I thought was going to be a relatively strong name. I guess that means I got to be looking at Boeing as well. This is one for sure. It's got a 180 breakout. It was relatively strong yesterday. Got to start looking at some of the bullish ideas because I was kind of bearish this morning.
Yeah, SMCI, we're getting close. AMD just ripped up to the top again. We are going to wait to get a lot closer to 120 because of what this market's doing, but we could be at another top here. We just took some more 50s, and I was going to wait for 90s. So let's see if AMD can get up there, break the high of the day, which it's doing right now. And again, the reason why I'm into this is just... maybe we shouldn't be, by the way. Like, it's positive a lot right now. So I want to take advantage of that. I was thinking this 122 would sort of be, the be-all, end-all of that. I still think we can get back into the 200 period, which is 117.50. So for risk to reward, for me, I'm all about that. So right now, we're in it. We just got that short right now. You can see our average price, 119.35. I mean, it's not good. It's definitely not a great average price, especially as we wrote down here what we wanted was 120, and it just came up there. So we're offside a little bit here. It's fading back in. It's 20 cents out of the money. It's the only trade that we've had so far. What's up, Adara?
Nice bounce for a lot of these crypto-related products here, but MSTR probably the strongest bounce here, about 2.25%. Nice bounce here off that $300 level for MicroStrategy. MSTX and MSTY, which are some of these other levered products and vehicles to trade MSTR, those are also to the upside. This is because we have Bitcoin making a nice bounce, actually cracking above the 96,000 level. So BTC and all of these related stocks definitely on watch this morning. Back to you.
Finally, yeah.
Here comes Tesla.
Ooh, which
way?
All right,
Tesla does not break 430, so it's, 420, actually 420, it didn't get to 430, but it's now starting to come back in. So with the market screaming, Tesla once again looking a little bit weak. 420 was yesterday's low. It looks like we have a decent shot of retesting it. When I was saying I should have gone back to the well on Marvell yesterday, I'm reminded the other short that was like a short all day long was Rivian. It's like, well, if Tesla's going to be weak, Rivian was a short the entire day, and Rivian's still at the previous close price. So in the afternoon, we did have this one at 320. So I still want to maybe pivot to things that are ideas that we can lean into. And this is just starting to do a trend reversal off that 1320. So if Tesla doesn't break down, Rivian's been a good short for a while. But Tesla's now underneath 25, underneath 24. It's headed toward that 420 breakdown. I'm going to take the break. Not give it a very wide berth because it's a breakdown trade. It's the same as a breakout for me. I treat it exactly the same way.
All right, we're doing good now on AMD. I mean, our average price here of 40. We're in the money now, 15 cents. It's not that good, but at least it's coming back in here with the market just a little bit. So that 120, as we wrote down on here, is gonna play. We are written down 425 to 430 now. So I'm bidding some 419s. Hopefully, 419s, 119 flat there if we can get them, and something at 16. I was just looking at that Tesla trade as well and thinking that 430. I think that's going to be a short right there. We just got to wait for it. So I keep on writing down 425 to 430. as the shorts is what we wrote down. And that would make sense now because the 50-period moving average is right in between that. Now at 427 and change. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Come on, AMD. This is going to be the big banger, man. I had actually thought about, trading and, that's all that I think about really, that and my kids really, and my wife, of course. But, and I was just like, with these kind of moves, we want to be able to try to hold things a little bit longer. Neil had sort of said, like, getting back into Mara, doing this, doing that. Part of it is, like, you got to have your trade plan. And I'm trying to share size properly so that when it gets to levels, I'm able to put on more shares. We didn't do a great job of that today because our average price was 40 on the way back in when we liked the 20 level. But we did get some decent shots up there, up at 119.90, or 119.88, or 119.88. So a nice little pull back in for that one as we stay very, very patient. The
volatility this morning
was crazy, right? Because that was down to 410 Tesla at the open.
It's like there's a few names that went, and then there's a few names that were, I'd say, volatility disappointing. No questions asked. But Tesla's moving like you would expect it to.
Sir.
Obviously, I think it's going to make the run at the 420 pretty much right now. So Mark came back to that 20 level. We're going to take the same look, mean revert, give it to the high. But I feel as if Tesla, this is the one. Like if Tesla's going to move, it's been moving more than the regular market, than the rest of the market and most of the names that we look at. So you got to have paying attention to it. You have to pay attention. If you're going long off the 420, you've already won yesterday and you've already won today. But I'm still looking for that breakdown. If it happens, great. There's a few small cappers that I know we haven't really talked too much about that we'll probably get to a little bit later. Rivian, like I said, I got into Rivian. This is basically the same as the yesterday trade off this 13 area. If we get to VWAP, that's about 15 pennies in the money. And it's a $13 stock, so that's an obvious place to take some profit. We do have a number coming out soon. I want to make sure that we get any trades on Tesla in front of it, ideally. But we're now 423 about to break. This is going to happen, I think, on Tesla through 420. It's trending down into this level.
Yeah, thanks, Tony, for that. The AMD short is pressing. Let's go. This is a big trade. This is a big trade for us here. So we are just going to hang out now on this. See what we. Okay, there it goes. See what we could do. We need the numbers to be our way. It's now 9:45. So I don't know. Was there just a number there? That was a nice little volume spike right there. I don't see anything or hear anything in my ear.
Correction. Michigan sentiment's at 10.
10. Okay, good. All right. So all right. So we don't have to worry too much about that. All right. So nice little bounce off 119, giving me some kind of ways. Let's get out of 3 more %. There it is. Okay, so we got some out at 119.10 there. Trying to be more patient with this. We said where I thought it could go. Now the 50 period has gotten a little bit higher. We were at 117. Now we're at that 118 level. This 200 period would be sort of where we could bounce off of. So 117.50 would be monstrous. Then if that happens there today, then yeah, we're good to go, man. We've got to go do some Christmas shopping there. But at the end of the day, if that hits, great. We are looking here to get some more out. I'm bidding some at right here, basically 118.90s. That we did get some out there. That VWAP is 118.70. So if we can get something there, and then the 50 period 118.50, like that's kind of where we started this jam. But at the end of the day, our average price was always 40. So there it comes in. There's 40. There it comes back. Yes, let's go. So there's our 90 fill. We just talked about sitting there and taking it. So that's what we do. My next bid on AMD is at 75. So that's working out. And then after that, 50s. So let's see if we get that downside play there for AMD. The other name that I liked here for a long, get down AMD. The other name that I liked here for a long was Uber. That's not at 59 yet. So, and the reason why I liked it, just right there. I looked at it, I was like, hey man, if we get real bad on a name, Uber's been getting killed. We were at $64 not a couple days ago, bang yesterday. So let's wait to see if we get that low. That's the only, good. Right now, here we go, man. Nice move down on AMD. So patience paying. There it is. There's our 50, Neil. Bang. This is $1.50 now in the money off the posted level of 120 there for AMD. Now, hey, you guys wanted Dollar Club winners. I'm sure there was lots yesterday. Today, hopefully there's even more. But here we go, $1 in the money right now on AMD. Let's see if we can get $10. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. I mean, I don't want to cheer this market to go down, believe that. But look what's happening right now. I know you're short Mara as well. Crypto is absolutely falling as well, right back into here. So good trade there on Mara. We're doing pretty good here on advanced micro devices, everybody.
Yeah, just a great look on AMD. The market's turned at the highs. So overnight highs, the market turned. Bitcoin turned at 96. So that prior massive level at 96, it just did a curl. I got back into Mara. So, okay, Tesla's about to break 422. I think that's the next one that's going to come in here for us. But there's a few names that we haven't really talked about that I did want to at least acknowledge. Make sure you guys know what's happening in some of the other biggies, Bitcoin being one of them. It's NVIDIA, just lost 130. Here we go to the 3-minute chart. It just lost 130. It's at VWAP and starting to trend down. So this curl feels like it's about to be real in the market. All right, Rivian, I'm on VWAP. Well, it won't fill me at my first bit. Anyways, okay, fine. I just had a bid in front of 90 at 91, and I was sitting there, I'm like, it's on the bid, it wasn't printing. Now it's actually starting to print into the downside as this market is coming in.
Yes.
I did not get filled on Tesla break. All right, leave it in. I'll leave it in. Maybe we get picked back up. Yeah, so I actually missed the punch on Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it happens.
How far did you cross?
You know what? This time I crossed, 30 cents. I mean, I was able to get it the last few times on the way upside. It's been a while since I've taken a down break on Tesla, actually. So I guess it's distinctly different. But yeah, it did go $2 right away. But as it just does another over-under, I guess I'll try to weasel my way back in. What is going on with the quote at this price? I see it's underneath. There we go. Okay, it just got filled at 76. I want to give this one a 21s. And like I said, I don't want to be taking, I didn't get the breakdown. It already gave you $2. So the fact that it already did that move, like you might have missed that chance to get that first scalp out. So a lot of times the second time through, still going to keep with the tight stop. We're going to do it now, but obviously that first time through, you get that immediate like $2 move that you can take advantage of. That's what you really want. So I'll still try to scalp some out, see if we can find places to add to the way down here as the market is continuing, I should say, to come back in. We're going to take a quick look at some point on CCL. I don't think it's breaking that 27 anytime soon, but that's another one of those few long ideas that's out there.
All right. Oh, man. We are really doing something right here today. I said to Brendan yesterday, I was like, thanks for forcing me to take a day off, but we're glad we did it, but we're glad we're back here today, right now. 118 and change, $1.70 now. We only have one trade all day. Pretty clean, pretty easy to understand, I hope, for me. Okay, now here comes 118 filling out right now. There it is, yes, sir. Now $1.70 plus now on AMD. We sat there and wondered what was up with that. Now we know, a little bit of a buyer's or exuberance off the open. Nice move there on AMD. My hat's off to anybody in the chat that has this. We're only short, man. You can see right here on the board. So let's go see what the story Dara has.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out Nike because this one is trying to go from red to green. We were actually briefly green in the day, now down by about 0.5%. So nice recovery here for NKE. They did beat on EPS and sales, but their revenue was down here by 8% on a year-over-year basis, and their direct revenues are actually down 13%. Got downgraded here by Telsey Advisory Group. Either way, trying to push higher here under new CEO Elliott Hill, who's vowing to turn the company back to its sports-based roots. Guys, back to you.
Okay, there's a couple people only trades there. Nuke. Nuke is going nuclear, I guess, maybe. Love your show. Thank you. Sorry, I meant to. I saw these super chats. We were just going. Congress, what's up, Marty here? This is just a couple seconds ago. To vote on temp spending to keep government around 10 a.m. Yep, so wait to see. Adair's going to have all that. I don't think government spending, they always pass bills for this. It's always in question. They always do. He always gets done. So for me, what do I think? I'm muted. I don't think too much on it, but again, the market's been coming back in. So I would say if you're fear that the market has reacted to that, then I would go the other way on that. What's up? You want the cash cow? There it is. Kyle Burdett. We got it on our hat. We got it in the blotter today, and we got it on the screen for you. So there it is right there. I'll cheer for the bleed out. Yeah, anybody, thanks for the $10, Kyle. I mean, everybody can go their own way, right? I mean, whether or not, I'm always net long. My whole portfolio is long. I have tons, in the market, not pulling really anything out, looking for opportunities to buy, right? So it's kind of like, I do kind of cheer for downside on some plays as well. But thank you so much there, Kyle. We know that you are not necessarily a perma bull versus bear, but yeah, I've seen him have some bullish comments, but yeah, not as many. On the bear side as that. So yeah, man, we are celebrating that. This is a big trade for me here today. This will be my whole day. Obviously, it's the only trade I have, but I could end this is the daily goal is met right now, but I don't want to flatten it out. So I'm starting to get lighter and lighter on it. I still have about 40% of this trade. So we talked about it coming to VWAP would be great. We talked about it coming to the 50 period would be even better. Now our ultimate target is 117.50. So I think we're doing pretty good holding on to this, especially considering the VWAP bounce there on the market. So might wind up taking a little bit more out, but so far so good here on the AMD short. Actually, on that note, there, I'm going to take some out. Took some out there at 40. There, your number. I got filled at 42. So
I love the number 42.
Let's wait to see.
But that breakdown, you need to have it the first time through. I think it was a heck of a lot more clean. I have a 3-minute chart up. I'm going to show you a 1-minute chart just so you can see. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have flipped to a 1 minute. There we go.
Do not flip.
Okay, it did work. The first time through, it was very, very clean. It had to do the up and down. It did give you 18s, but we just broke that 21. This is not something I want to fight here on Tesla. I said 420 is an over-under level for me, which means if we're not consolidating under and making lower highs, then I don't want to be fighting the short, wait for the 440 level. I was able to just get some out of Mara's. It's now bouncing off VWAP as well. You have Bitcoin retracing back to that 26 level, sorry, the 96 level. Mara's at $20. So as long as that's happening, we're trending back up. I want to be taking some out in front of VWAP. I got to double check on the name I wanted long today, and that was going to be Boeing. It hasn't broken out the top yet and barely holding on to VWAP. I think it's got a bit of a chance to make this breakout. We like Boeing. It's not actually 180. It's like 179.60 is the actual local high. And CCL reported, but that 27 break, I suppose, is not in the cards today. As you can see, CCL starting to come in there. So whatever strength this stock had, it's starting to wane a little bit here. I haven't checked out Palantir yet, but remember they're being added to the index. That 71 level still looking awfully good for Palantir. No great breakout on that. Still want to have some focus on Tesla. You know, it's like to me, it's the biggest mover. It's doing lower highs for now, which can still set it up to get back underneath that 420 level, but I just have to back off. I don't want to fight any shorts on Tesla above the 420. That's exactly where it made the bottom yesterday, so it's the wrong place to be trying to fight it.
Yeah, I wanted to come in there and talk about some of the same things here about fighting these trends, right? And I think that, we did have a good move down. We broke the 50 period, and right now we're at VWAP. So I just want to say I'm getting out of 10% more right now at 70. I just bid 77. We just got some out there at 50s just before just as we were throwing it to Neil, we were talking about this. We have 3 outs right here. So what we were talking about having about 40%, we have about 30% left now. As look at that rip. See, again, I bid 77 and then miss it. So, hey, man, could still be, I don't want to say this could be a losing trade. It can't, but we will average it in again up to 120 if that does come through. But the plan of action now for me on AMD is not to give this all the way. Like, we're not going to just be like, we're short and we're short all day and that's going to work and there's like nothing anybody can do about it. That's not how you trade. You have to get in and out when levels break and when things change. So right now on AMD, and thank you, Carly, for the kind mention there in the chat about the trades today. For everybody, right? What's up, AI? Oh, so before I go over to this, I will do all the super chats. Neil and I will do them. We'll get to them. But we are trading live accounts, and we do trade here equity. There it is. Okay, so there's the fill. Look, see, there's the fill back at VWAP. So again, I'm going to hit the siren because it's just as planned. And I think that's all that you can do as a trader is have a plan. And then if it hits, you're there. If it doesn't, you're not there. I mean, that's kind of that easy, right? Like, and that's what I was going to tell you. Right now, AMD, I'm going to get out, man, if this breaks too much through 120. Like 120.25 is my thought now on AMD. So we're short now at 119.80. We're $1.20 in the money. It's a good trade, but I'm not going to give this too much more room than that top tick that we already have. So good trading there as Neil's staying net short. I'm staying net short. AIRX. I did ask Randy for a reload. So.
Oh, I just asked as well.
Okay, good. So hopefully he'll. Where's that bad signal?
Yeah,
this is going to be the wrong. Don't get any ideas. This is the wrong signal. This is not. Joe, what
that's not what we're asking for. Look at the high of the day's coming back in on a couple of things here.
Yeah, so, my guy's got the jacket on. Go ahead.
It is cold.
Well, I was just going to deal with this.
Joe is putting his hood on, and my hands are freezing.
Go over to Rivian and then
I want a coffee.
Yeah,
just to quickly show you, we didn't have our stop run the first time, and we pulled back into prior lows. But this time, we are trying to break out that top. This is where we're short in the afternoon. If we take out, it's not the high of the day yesterday. It's distinctly different. It's just the lower high from the afternoon on Rivian. That is going to be the out. That was always going to be the out. The local high on Mars is the out. Tesla is still man, it's not doing much. You gotta be kidding me. So it doesn't really break toward 430. It's still putting in some lower highs. I feel like this is, I think you just have to be a little bit more patient with it. Like I think eventually it's going to set something up a little bit more nicely. It's only 10 o'clock. There's still plenty of time. I don't think you have to rush into anything. You just have to pivot maybe to either looking at a different entry plan. I'm still going to be working off the 420 level, at least for now. It certainly looks like it's a good opportunity if it breaks down under here. And sometimes the second break is better than the first break.
Giddy up.
Because a lot of times, people give up on it. So I think the second time can be just as good. As long as the market doesn't make fresh highs, we didn't break the overnight highs, I want to stick to the thesis here and still work with the shorts. Like yesterday was the same thing. Like you really, off the open, you kind of just had to give the shorts a minute. And eventually they all worked out. But it took a lot of patience yesterday.
All right, I lost the fan funding there. Okay, so love your show. Thank you, JV there. Oh, David, here it was. David, thank you so much. 42, the meaning of life. Yeah. All right, so reference. Yeah, it was one of Neil's favorite numbers. Comes from
that's for Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
But it is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well.
So it's a good call there. So I want to bring up Jackie there.
I love
also, you think there's a chance the government does shut down? Okay, I mean, then,
really?
Well, yeah, I mean,
for like a day or two. It never lasts.
Unless I read that wrong, but. Okay, so that's so good. So good call, and again, to each their own, right? I mean, that's why the market is open and exists. Okay, AIRX here. The last few have been sticking around. The last 2 days, sticking to what I normally do. Good idea there. But as soon as I enter position, things reverse. Okay, whoopsies. Shoot. Okay, it could be dropping all day, but as soon as I enter, reverses drastically too. Yeah, no, I mean that's what Neil and I sort of hinted at some of the possibilities of volatility and whatnot today, and I don't say that lightly by any stretch of imagination. It's about position sizing. It always is. The whole game is about position sizing, and it's like. If I'm too short heading into this, then potentially you get stopped out and it's a big hit, even though 120 was your level. So I just feel like find your levels, do what you're doing. We got to go over to Adara right now as we do have numbers at 10.
Yeah, we have the University of Michigan consumer sentiment data. 74 is the print for consumer sentiment for the final print of December. That is slightly below forecast of 74.2, but in line with the previous print of 74. Now we have the 5-year inflation number, which should be positively received, 3% here, so below the forecast of 3.1%. Same with the University of Michigan 1-year inflation expectation here, 2.8% versus 2.9% expected. So just to clarify, for those larger Michigan consumer sentiment numbers, lower than expected sentiment print, but also lower than expected inflation expectations. So market not reacting too much to this, pulling back a little bit here, but not a ton of volume on the cues to back that up. We have a lot of earnings on watch today, Nike, FedEx, and BlackBerry. We also have on watch here, so here's FedEx. Also worth noting here, CCL is going to have its earnings call starting at 10 a.m. If I see any updates from that, I will let you know. FedEx here, almost going from green to red on the day with a sales miss. They also had some weaker than expected guidance for fiscal 2025 earnings per share. But they did get an upgrade from Move Capital, so really mixed sentiment coming here out of FTX. Then we have Novo Nordisk, which is trying to bounce a little bit, still down about 19% right now, basically announcing that the results for their CagriSema trial, which is their hybrid weight loss drug, they were expecting 25% weight loss reduction, only came in at 22.7%. But they did say they were expecting to submit this for regulatory approval near the end of 2025. So NVO and Eli Lilly, which was bouncing in response to this story, on watch today as well. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you. Bless you.
I'm going to use that thing. All right, so more AMD outs. Thank you for all that. Thank you for the number there as the market started to go back into the upside right here. So be very, very careful. I know Neil's looked at Tesla before. Still in the range. Does drip below that 420, which was a good marker, but it gets to 418 there as the low. So I think we're still getting ready for a short here. Tesla seems to be staying underneath, but it's also kind of holding VWAP. So I wanted to just check out 435.50. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying, there was 435.50 was yesterday. But, 430, I still think that being patient, I don't know why we have all these bad wicks, but that's 428. That's the 50 period now on a 5-minute chart. So I'm going to still stick by looking to short basically the pre-market top right there, 428, 429. We did get really excited there on PCE, so we did get up to 431 and change. So we're aware that could happen. But, again, in the position that we had, now almost out of it all, 50, 20. We have about 20 and change % left here now on AMD. I do not have any offers until 119.90, so that's going to be a play to look at. Looks like Bitcoin was a good little level there to buy overnight.
It just hit 96.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to look at that again, and we should have probably traded some IBIT there off the open. We did talk about IBIT, but we bought some last night. We woke up to a filled order, and it was just right here at 90, down a little bit lower, 94.150. We talked about that earlier on today. So that was good. Now you're breaking above again. I looked at the 15-minute chart as like sort of that trend where we had sort of said yesterday, since we were underneath it. Remember I was talking about, it was actually 2 days ago, because I wasn't here yesterday, that we had that dream that we would sell, liquidate half our account. That might have been a good idea. Maybe we should have done that. But then buy Bitcoin. But then we were like, well, we're not doing that until at least we get over this 200 period moving average on a 15-minute chart. So we were under there at 106, 107. So again, hard to predict what's going to happen, but there goes the move down. So I think it's hard to get bullish until this is really back above 100,000, which sort of indicates that mark there. So we'll wait for that one on BTC. But if you're going to look for an intraday trade, the best way, our system is not the greatest setup yet for crypto. So we can only go long. So if you're right now looking to go short, you can go short, but you have to basically pay for the shorts or get them all set up there in the back end, which I'm not. So right now I'm going to look at IBIT, and I don't want to short crypto, I don't think, today. I'd rather wait for dips. So if we're going to do that, 54 is kind of where VWAP is right now. So, trade it kind of like in earnings where you get just some pretty violent moves. Today hasn't been too bad for IBIT. It's going to be relatively flat. NASDAQ is moving.
Well, you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
I know it's flat, but that's trending up.
Yes.
So, all right, there goes Rivian. I'll get to Mara in a quick second, because Rivian just took out the top. So we're out of Rivian. I mean, obviously it's not good. It was a lot better yesterday. As long as you do better. Well, obviously it's a good short yesterday, but today it's a little bit different. So we're down a bit on it, fraction of what we made yesterday, but it's distinctly different. You're seeing it trend up, but you just saw Sean's IBIT chart. And the thing I noticed about it is obviously it's making higher lows. You're holding the line here up and down. It's like a heartbeat off the 20 level. You're going down to 1980. You're going up to 2020 here on IBIT. On Mara, I should say.
Yeah.
So as long as you're trending up, I feel like I want to be patient. I should just cancel an offer. As long as you're trending up, I want to be patient. But if you're to break trend, Mara being flat while it's trending up, to me, that's still relatively weak. So there's a chance it can still break down. The difference, when I was saying yesterday, you had to be patient with the shorts. They were kind of like dancing around. This one wasn't. Like, this was one where we just ended up flushing and it was like short every single pop. That's not what it's doing here. So not going to be reloading. You saw it just canceled an offer. Yesterday, it was an easy short. Today, look at what's going on with this. So I'm going to go tighter stop and then let this one dance a little bit. And as I said, like, wait around for Tesla. You don't have to wait very long. So you saw I just canceled my reload on Mara and tightened the stop on it. Because yesterday it was pop and just drop. That's what Rivian was doing. We're not seeing that right now. So it was easier yesterday. And then look at Tesla. Like, I don't want to fight this thing. Now you're up at 430 and possibly testing into yesterday's high. So if I still like a fade, then why not wait for it to get out to some bigger level? It's obviously bouncing pretty strongly off this 420 level. So you want to be able to live to fight another day. Some of the longs that I did like, CCL's not looking very good. I'm looking over at Boeing. And Boeing can't hold on to VWAP, so that's not really setting up very well. Apple. Okay, no, actually Apple is looking good now. I was about to say Apple's not looking very good, but Apple is looking good. Apple's now back above VWAP and starting to trend. So suddenly this actually looks pretty solid for me here, which again, you had to be patient with it. So Apple holding VWAP, I think if it can continue to do that, you have a little bit of a continuation trade maybe back into those highs. Not abandoning the idea of short, but they have to start setting back up again. Show me some lower highs. Show me a defined top maybe on Rivian, which it hasn't done yet, and then I can work back in.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so new position alert. We did super well on this the other day. Roblox was one of my top stocks. Maybe it was. All right, so market just went for a jog, right? And by the way, did we get that reload there on AMD? No, we did not. We were waiting for 50s there. It came right into 50. Once I saw it bouncing around, that's too bad. I actually thought I got it. And I was only going to put on 10% more or 15% more, so we didn't do it. And I just went over here. So as we can see now with Roblox. So what I want to do here was we're just riding the top side right now. So chance of this going down with the market. I mean, I think the market is a short. We talked about that. So we're going to go short a name right now, Roblox. And what we're doing on this is just sort of seeing that yesterday's top was 59.30s. That's where I have to stop. So 59.30 break, we're out. I think this is worth a small shot at this level, worth a much better shot at 59. So right now, I'm going to wait for 59s, but we do have a starter position here, so we can start to monitor it. Okay, so here it goes down in right now. $1 back in on AMD. And wow, like we just put this trade on. So we're going to go, again, we're going to go 2 for 2. It looks like if I cover this right now, fine. But I don't know if we're going to do that. Let's put out something here, maybe 62-ish. We'll see if we get some sort of a fill. But right there, short right now, 73. We'll see if we can take a dime. The bottom there has been 50. We could put a bid at 50. And then after that, 20s, 30s in for Roblox. We like that trade to the downside there. RBLX coming in. 58.15 right there is where the VWAP is. But AMD going for a little bit of a jog now to the downside. So let me put a bid right here at 119 and change. Hold on a second. There it is. Okay, so now we'll take a bid here at 119. We'll also wait for 118.90 to come through on AMD. So far, so good. It's too bad that we just missed that reload right there at 119.50. We're there for it, though. Double the pleasure there on AMD as we get that bid, trying to go lower. Come on, Roblox. Hopefully we can get that one right now as we go. So
very quickly,
Sharif is in the building, and
Raheem is in the building, and he
over
came
there
bearing gifts.
What?
You just said double your pleasure? Double your fun.
It was a good year in the Raheem Alani household right there. So we say thank you. Must have been his wife right there. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, boy.
Prosecco for days.
Oh, boy.
Prosecco for days.
Oh,
thank
boy.
you. Thank you, Raheem. Happy holidays and best to all. There. Thank you, Raheem. We've known Raheem for honestly 15 years, I feel like, back up there at the old office in St. Clair. So we want to say
2006.
Big shout out, Mr. Raheem.
No, actually, yeah, I'm trying to think, it's been 15, maybe even longer than that. I don't want to elbow that. That's my only.
Take it off. Then get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't.
Put mine down there. Yeah, take it.
I'd hate to.
Good call.
I'd hate to elbow that thing.
All right. So we're elbowing, market makers out of the way and saying, get us those shorts again. So now $1.20. We only have we have 2 trades on all day, and we're pretty proud of them. So right now, here we go again on this right now. It's AMD. AMD continues to be an absolute monster. So, yeah, man, we're really happy with that one going short there. Roblox, nice trade on this one as well, trying to go back down. So we're going to go 2 for 2 on this side and just wait. Now be patient. I think that me and Neil keep talking about that. Wait for these plays. Take shots. If they're there, they're there. If not, regroup. So right now, here comes Roblox. Good trade in now, 15 cents in the money as it starts to go back into the downside.
Yeah, so when I said be patient, it's like wait for something to set up. Initial trade on SMCI didn't work. And now I like the short. Well, let it actually break the trend. So it just broke the trend from the morning, like a minute ago, literally as Raheem walked in, this was breaking the trend line. And Tesla's trying to do the same thing. So if we're going to be patient about it, there's that low. Okay, let me just draw it again. Okay, so we haven't actually, Tesla just bounced off of the trend and headed higher. So if I'm going to try to get into the short again, I want it to break this trend, or I suppose head higher into that 440 level. If that's starting to look like, Tesla's starting to look strong. Let me just save that because I still want that obviously trend line to be there the next time I look at the stock. Apple hasn't held VWAP, so it was trying to. I wanted long if it could hold VWAP. It's now done a bit of a wick and a reversal. That's a good reversal candle. So if we can close above VWAP, then I like the long back into that body. But really the only thing new is one we already had on SMCI, but just had to be patient with it. It's underneath the trend line. If it breaks out this high, I can get out. And then, of course, we're usually looking for VWAP retracement in here. A lot of times, if your trend line is, like the trend line started off of VWAP, which oftentimes it's going to when a stock does this, then when it gets to VWAP, I like that for an obvious profit target in and out. Tesla, as I said, it keeps on going higher. This one just bounced off the trend line again. Needs to close underneath it. SMCI closed underneath the trend line. This one bouncing off of it. It's an absolute rocket ship as we speak. I see people talking about crowd. AVG Broadcom's at the high of the day. Oh boy. That's the steal one. Oh, Obi's been trading a lot of Broadcom, so I have to do that for him. As it's up 2%. This is a strong chip name. Okay, chip name above VWAP. Wow, there isn't even a red. I mean, I guess this is a red candle technically, but yeah, it's looking pretty strong. I did prefer Apple today, but it's not showing you all the signs that you would want for that long trade. Above resistance from the afternoon, that looks pretty bullish to me. But now Tesla's starting. Okay, Tesla's at 432. It's now headed toward the highs. So I said wait for 440. I guess we're going to get 440. The 420 was a long, apparently.
Oh boy, I'm still going to try to be patient with Tesla. I mean, nice move up. I still want to try to short that 435. So right into here, I'm going to try to go short against 436. So that's going to be my play for Tesla. Huge move to the upside, still down 1%. It looks like it wants to get going. So I'm going to try to fade it into yesterday's close. That's basically 438-ish level. I'll give the first play up to 436 and then regroup after that. I mean, it's been a good day for us, so don't want to try to like do anything too offside here right now. And that includes all of this. Like we got some more out here. The market's going upside. I mean, we were down and it was pretty bad. You know, earlier on this morning, we were down 1.8, almost 2% in the NASDAQ. Like, Tesla was 410. You know, some of these prices were real low. And now you're real high compared to where we've been. I didn't think the NASDAQ would be flat today. I still feeling short for sure. Waiting to get more on Roblox. We already took some out there. Waiting to get more on AMD. And then the long that tried to hit for us was Uber. But that, you know, we were not going to wait. We're not going to trade that off 60. That 60 was there, and we were talking about it, but I was waiting for 59, which is, in hindsight, way too low. I've canceled all of those trades now, and really trying to look long, like trying to find something that might be long. We have a hot list. Do we have to go to Adara by any chance? No, okay. You know, the hot list, what's moving around right now? SBI, what is SBI? That might be a mistake. Western 770. Yeah, I'll look at Palantir. Palantir's moving to the top side as well. That's a mistake. Broadcom, AVGO. Palantir was 70. Yeah, 70. I did want to look at this at 75, so we are getting pretty close to that one. Yeah, there's Palantir, Google, AVGO, Soxel, Humana going, QBTS, another level there. Apple, as we mentioned, still downside. But what's positive? QUBT today, Palantir, NVIDIA turns green. MSTR, wow, good dip by there on Bitcoin. Rigetti, there's that 850 level on Rigetti. Now 875, wow. Looks like we were good to look at that, but not good enough to take it. There goes Rigetti. We talked about that 850 level. Nice move. So if you have that, there it is. I didn't put the stop in. We should have put a bid there for Rigetti, guys, and try to go long through there because we talked about that level right there, 850 yesterday. Good trade if you're in it. RGTI, more upside.
Tell my wife to sell that other one.
Yeah, nice move upside there. Yeah.
QBTS is the other one.
Yeah.
QUBT, it's easy to get these two mixed up. D-Wave Quantum. I think I told the story yesterday. I'm not going to bother repeating it. Full caveat. I don't trade this one. My wife's in the stock. We got her into it. But these are all looking very, very strong. All right, Tesla now is a new trend. So every time if the stock goes higher, then it sets up maybe a new and steeper trend. So now once it breaks a high, I like to look for the trend since the test of the high. So that's now setting up a little bit of a steeper trend line, not just the one that we're looking at here, but it's got to be some kind of a mean reversion play and then take that shot. And all you're looking for, let me show one that we already had. That'll be SMCI. So you're looking for the mean reversion, close underneath. Your play is to here. To me, the stop is to like the prior bar high. I gave it like 5 extra cents, but this is the play. The play is 20 cents worth of risk, no adjustment. And then you're looking for 60 to 31, right? So you can hold some through VWAP. That's usually the plan of action. But you're looking to take a small hit. Everyone's going to have their own style. And for me, I can I like to try to take a trade setup like this that I can lose on it 3 times and one of them works and I'm green on the stock. Everybody is going to be different. So understand that is the setup I'm looking for in SMCI in an upward trend. Or Tesla is another one that's doing it here. So if it breaks that trend, I want 1 in, 1 out, and a clean target. That's what I want to do here. Not in a long. If I was in a long, it's a much different story. But now you're starting to look for that little bit of a trade back in. I never want to have it like one trade I can't come back from. And that's why my style is going to be very different from a lot of people. And the only trade, now that we're trending up, since I haven't got the longs I wanted, is looking for a mean reversion. Like I'll show you, this is Apple just now off of VWAP. Like 2 seconds ago, it was barely holding. This is the closing bar above VWAP on Apple. Like it just ran 60 pennies on you. So not going to chase that move. We'll set up something else for Apple. If it's not going to be VWAP, then we'll look for this maybe consolidation higher. Right now, this market is screaming long, which is setting up those reversion. Oftentimes, it sets up, to me, a mean reversion trade or find a place to join a strong stock. As said, some of these quantum names are looking pretty strong. I haven't really looked at any of those. I'm not jumping away from any of the core names that we're trading today, which was Tesla, SMCI, Rivian, Mara. Apple is a bit of a long trade that I didn't think was a setup, but now that we're looking like a long day, I want to be able to join this one somewhere.
All right, guys, Trade the Pool allows stock traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT row holding you back whatsoever. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for a one-time fee of just $300. You'll receive $80,000 in buying power and the chance to become a funded trader. Hit a profit target of just 4% and you'll start trading with the company's capital. Get funded faster. I mean, just punch long one of those quantum stocks, I guess. Get funded faster and easier with new conditions designed for your success. And the best profit split, the best part about it, and the best of the profit, we got to fix that's written wrong here. And the best part about it is the profit split has now been upgraded to a generous, not 65%, not 67.5%, but 70%. So you keep more of what you earn. Exciting. The professor over here to my left. Don't wait. Check it out now and see how Trade the Pool can help you get bigger and better. So Trade the Pool. Again, we trade with Real Trading, another prop firm here. You can go check them out, Real Trading as well. All right, pretty boring for me so far here today, despite we've hit our day goal. We did that a long time ago. We only have 2 trades though. Wait a second. What happened to my, oh, yeah. So we didn't, this was wrong pricing. I put it down the wrong price. So we're still waiting here. So this was in and I was like, I only traded 2 names today, but I just saw we're flat on Tesla. That was in and out as fast as can be. We're offering 340, 434.80. So it looks like 434. We could actually maybe start it in and around there now, possibly for a spot. But I'm going to just give it just to that 335 area and then up to 36. Out if it waxes through there. Let's be very, very patient. That sucks because we missed that again by 50 cents into a $1 winner right there. Okay, now we are reloaded. We should hit this one instead. All right, so now Roblox is here. We're giving this up to 30s. We'll see if it wants to go. Market going higher here. Roblox turning green. Potential danger zone for sure for us as this gets a little higher. But here we go. We are short at 94 on Roblox. We could take some money right now as I just say danger zone. Roblox falling down just a little bit.
It is 10:20. We're going to go to it there in a quick little second, but Tesla just closed underneath trend. And there's a break. First trend line, it just did another close underneath the first, and now the second already happens. We got in there. I tried to add when it did the second trend line break to get a full position. We'll bounce some off of the 430 level. The other thing that's happening is while that pulled back, Apple is breaking the high of the day. So another strong move for Apple. It wants no part of these dips. So when I see the market dip, Apple is not doing anything. There's a tiny red candle. It was maybe your chance to get back in there. But Tesla has broken that trend. So we're now into it. First stop is going to be the 430 level. Let's go see what the small caps are doing. I believe it's time for the small cap recap.
IWM trying its very best to recover here. Nice kind of bull flag forming here around that 221 halves area. We are up about 2/3% right now on the day. Also, before we get into the small caps, not a small cap, but I want to mention Lumen here, Lumn. This morning we did get a bit of a price target increase here from RBC Capital Markets. So keep an eye on LUMN. Yesterday as well, they had a little bit of a move after Reuters reported they're looking to sell one of their businesses. Let's talk here about Enovix, ENVX. So at day's highs here, up about 18%. Announced this morning it's shipping their EX2M samples to some of their mobile phone customers. This one also has a notable short float of about 30.5%. Next up here, we have ISPC. This is iSpecimen, super rangy here for iSpecimen, but it's of note because they have a float of around 688,000 shares. So very small float for ISPC. Also very small float for MYSZ. That is my size, up here about 350%. Those are a little bit below day's highs, but they do have a float of about 923,000 shares. So lots of low float runners moving around today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. It's been a good show, I feel like, and lots of different names to trade here. We just talked about some of the bigger ones with Apple and everything that we're trading. Some smaller cap names there with Mara. Roblox just fell into 85, 86s there, so we're able to take out some profit. Remember, this is a lot stronger than I had thought. The market's a lot stronger than I had thought. So you get out of the way of all of these trades, right? So we're up on it right now. We will not be if it breaks through this 59.30. So that is it. If it goes up through there, we will stop out. So we got out of only a third of that. It wasn't even for that many. It was for like 5 cents worth of a win. So not really the greatest setup right now for this. Since we're blasting higher, I said that I'd give AMD one more chance up here at that 120. It's setting up for me to take it, so I'm going to do it one more time, but that would be it after that. Like we like the 120. We're trying to stick with it. It's sort of that move from yesterday. We liked it. We liked shorting 120 when it was down here. It's going to be obviously the number one P&L name here today. There's only a couple green names, right? So we have AMD's green, Roblox potentially going to be red. Other than that, nothing else. So right now we're going to wait to see here what happens with Roblox. But the NASDAQ, I'm surprised. We were talking about it. Someone said, oh my God, Adara's wearing red again. Well, I mean, if it was green, that might have been, the trend right now, huge to the upside. So we're going to wait for AMD to come in, and we do have our stops ready to go. So that's still Roblox. If it breaks through that 120, I'm going to give it to 120.20 or so. So up into that level, not just a 120 clean break, give it a couple cents, but that could also spark some big time buys. So we'll wait to see. All right, now we're into Tesla short finally. So we got to start to manage some of this stuff.
That's right when it broke that prior high. So it does the setup. It's so bullish that when it broke the second trend line, it did pull back in. And I'll be the first person to tell you, this got down to 431. So if you were looking for a dollar scalp trade, it was there for you. But this trade is not a dollar scalp trade. If I take a dollar scalp trade in here and I'm giving it to the prior high, then it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because in the times that it's working down in and giving you the $4 to $5 move, and I'm trying to only get $1 out of it when risking $2, just not taking it. And that's how it is. It's the second time. And obviously, if I had scalped this trade, you could have made you get it all out for like $1.50, $1.20. No, I'm expecting, if this is working, I want Tesla down at 415. I want Tesla down at 410. So it's a little bit different. Like, I'm not going to celebrate. I wasn't celebrating when it was $1 in the money. Not for myself, because I was risking more than $1. No questions about it. You see, my stop was at $2. I wanted that move to get down $2 before taking any celebration turns on it. Apple, I still want to look for that first available real dip in Apple. Let me just go ahead and cancel that. Now we got to look at the prior high, which was about 248.60. So 248.60 was the local high here on Apple.
Thank you, my guy.
It looks like this one is continuing to go high, but it's into yesterday's resistance spot as well. So yesterday's close is in.
Yeah, and I'm glad Neil talked about that trade there.
Yeah, respect your R&R.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it's all about. So right now we're 2-to-1 R to R, right? So let's go right now on Tesla. So that's exactly the trade, right? I mean, we were talking about our out is 436. So when we're short at 435, we're taking it out as it bleeds down. We only have half left. Let's wait to see. Could still be a losing trade. I mean, that is for sure. Talk about possibly a losing trade right now. Here comes AMD right now. So it just ripped. So as we were wind up short, which is fine. I mean, our net is completely fine. Like, that's why we started to cash out. Like, here goes Tesla right back in again, right? So here comes Tesla back into the dollar club or to the $2 club. Let's take another piece out here. I don't know why this continues to rip, sort of the way this is ripping, but it is going the market up to the upside. So let's just start to take some out. Now we're out of a little bit less than that now over here. But this is start to go. So Goolsby's talking right now about rates. So on CNBC right now. So I'm going to take out, if we can get something around 120 just to scalp out some of this and just say, you know what, this AMD move, here we go. We're going to get stopped out anyways. Breaking through 25 is it. So we talked about how much sense we'd give this. Our hands are now off the keyboard. As we didn't, again, like Goolsby's here talking about rates are going to sort themselves out. Like, I don't know, that seems to be pretty good. Dara will get the exact sort of discussion when she lines that all up. But here we go. AMD the upside will still be very dovish, right, exactly. So that's the problem. So here goes the market. So we will slap out there, stay positive on it, but we are now out of AMD. I'll get back in. I mean, I'm thinking about a 120 break back down lower. So let's do that if that happens. 120 break lower now on AMD just to reignite this trade. And then if it falls out, it falls out. But we had to get stopped out there in case this move keeps going. So slight move up there on Goolsby talking all that nonsense. But there's another dollar right now on Tesla. Let's see if it continues to bleed a little bit lower on that trade. So we'll make money there. Give some back, obviously, on AMD. But for right now, fine. The shorts just are not working. And you have to be able to switch up your game. So if that does change, man, go somewhere else. Look for better trades, and we'll work from there. But it's crypto. You want to do both of them? Okay, we'll do crypto and the update there on what's going on with Fed Goolsby.
We are a little bit early to crypto, so I want to start here with Fed's Austin Goolsby, basically echoing some of the comments we heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell to an extent on Wednesday, but with a much more dovish feel, basically saying that much like what Fed Chair Jerome Powell was saying, the policy with that incoming Trump administration is still pretty uncertain, and that's why Fed's Goolsby said that he thinks it's going to be a slightly more shallow rate path, so a few less cuts next year than what we had this year, which we expected. However, Fed Goolsby also did say that, quote, rates will come down by, quote, a judicious amount next year, and saying that he does still see some rate cuts in the next 12 to 18 months. So Fed Goolsby does not seem like he's in the zero rate cut camp for 2025. So interesting note here, again, combination of some of the stuff we heard from Powell and a little bit more of a dovish feel. If we see anything more coming out from Goolsby, I will let you know. He just said here that the wide consensus is that the long run neutral rate is well below where the policy is now. So that also echoes comments from Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who says the neutral rate is still going to be well below where we're currently at. Now let's take a look here at BTC, which is trying to hold on to that 97,000 area right now. And this also looks like some support here on the daily chart. Going back a little bit here, we had this support Tuesday, December 3rd, December 10th. Now again here, December 20th, trying to rest at that 97,000 level with a massive bottoming tail candle. Low of days here, we touched 92,000 for Bitcoin. So certainly something to keep an eye on. I was reading also, apparently yesterday, the wider crypto market lost 11.94, so almost 12% here in market cap, dropping to a market cap of 3.13 trillion. That is the larger, wider crypto market cap space. So something to keep an eye on there. Let's talk about all these other names here. Ethereum, weak here, but bouncing nicely. We were below 3,200 earlier today. Now we're knocking on the door of 3,400. XRP down about 2%, Solana down about 6%, Doge down about 10.5%, Cardano down about 4%. So nothing here is super strong, but a lot of things are rebounding here. Now we have Bitcoin decisively. We're claiming the 97,000 level, guys. Back to you.
As you were gone there, as we were gone, as we were with Adara, what wildness. Tesla goes up to that 436, hits it, we get out, fails, we get back in. Whoa. Absolutely wild. AMD's up to 121. The market is like, wow, right now. Huge moves. Upside. Oh, that's still Roblox. Sorry, we got stopped out of Roblox, by the way. But there's the short there, 436, but it looks like we're going to get black. 436.50 is the high, so we're short at 435.80. We're going to be out of that. It's going to, this Tesla is nuts right now. I mean, I really like it. I really like this style of trading. Like there's a whole bunch of out, like at these 434.80s, that's $1. So it looks like we're going to get stopped out here, lose that back again. And then we're out of Tesla, man. This stock is super strong and ripping. I just could not believe some of the moves that we were able to get here on Tesla back in. It's too bad. It's not too bad. That was a great update, but we can't control what happens in the market. But there it goes. Tesla right back up to the upside. Bye-bye. See you later as that stock gets real strong. Just going green now at that 436 level. I still kind of like the short here, but that just because you like something doesn't mean you're going to take it. Nvidia, everything's
almost
all the shorts are going to be out now, right? I mean, you don't want to be sitting in them as this does happen. I would say Nvidia. I mean, all hail. I mean, we always talk about the king, of course. The only thing that I bought recently, we talked about buying diamonds. And then the other thing here was...
Broadcom's actually pretty strong.
Broadcom is nice. Yeah, we definitely like some Broadcom, that is for sure. And then NVIDIA AMD, still that 122 area. I mean, it's nice what Goolsby, I guess, there. I mean, thanks to Dara, that was nice to hear. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to still battle with whatever this market wants to do. So, yeah.
It's the polar opposite of yesterday.
Yesterday you got all the different talk, right?
Well, I mean, yesterday, yeah, and then on top of that, like you had almost everything threatened you to the long side yesterday. Like early, like don't get me wrong, like this is Rivian's chart. Like it popped up, it broke the high, lower high, then it held the pre-market, or support, I suppose. It wasn't really the low, and then tried to go again and started looking like it was going to be bullish, but it was just a continuation short. Today, it threatens the high, pulls back, and then breaks it out. And a lot of stocks are just. That's just all it is. Like that's what they're doing today. You got to be able to deal with it. Now, one name. So the only thing that I've been in and sort of taken our shots at that is actually not crazy trending up. And I went to the 15-minute chart. I'm okay. Well, what actually doesn't look like a rocket ship right now that I liked for the short side? Mara hasn't gone green. Bitcoin's at 97,000, and this still hasn't gone green. It hasn't really broken this double top high on the 15-minute. It's just the $20 level hasn't really mattered. So this is, if the market does some kind of a curl, and I'm going to look, I shouldn't say the market. Yes, the market, but probably I should care more about Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does a curl, I'm going to watch this closely as we head into resistance at 98. If we do a mean reversion there, I should be shorting Mara because Mara is the one stock I liked that has not broken out. So why try the one that has? I mean, Tesla's going to get the 440, but that's different. It was kind of part of the plan up there, which is crazy. I didn't think we'd get there. But Mara hasn't broken out this top. So it's a much more reasonable place to be sitting and looking for that short. Pippy, nope, it's not.
Pippy what?
It's Pimpy Long Stockings. Pimpy Long Stonking. Thank you for the super chat.
Great one.
Election day do-over. Yeah, maybe that's exactly what we're doing here because we are now red to green on the overall market. You got me. That's a great name. Obviously, I just glanced at it very quickly. We appreciate that super chat. All we ever do is ask you to hit the like and subscribe, join this community, spread the love, enjoy the show, all that.
That doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Oh, I was kind of saying it in the nice way. I didn't have to do the whole pity the fool there, but thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. And if there's anything you guys are looking at that we haven't really talked about, let us know. We're willing to look at pretty much any individual stock. I've only really stayed with the same 4 names that were part of the plan and didn't even get into the 2 longs that I liked. But one name hasn't broken the high, and that's Mara. So this is the one that I think I should be at least looking for that short again. Tesla's at 440. Unbelievable. Never really, I look back in the things that I bought the last 2 days, and you're never really happy with what you dip by on the panic days. And that's always how it is, because you could have always bought something more. It is what it is.
Money. All right. There it is again, man. We are back in the game and back in the building pretty strong now on AMD. So there's the short at 121. So again, we're just, as Neil had mentioned here, we're sticking with the plan. We had wrote down what levels we liked there, and it burned the first one, and that was 120. Still fine. Obviously, we talk about staying positive. So that's what we wind up doing, staying positive on the name, on AMD. We get out at 120 once it burns that level. And then it just ripped up into 121. And again, the market's pulling back a little bit. So it's not like going to be like so celebratory. I'd hate to have lost on that first one. But there's 121.75. So I want to be short, honestly, like AMD up 1.5%. I almost feel like we closed the week. We'll have to see what the NASDAQ is on the week. It's going to be red. But like right now, up 0.65 is actually pretty nice. So I'll analyze that after
Tesla
to see where possibly we could get. I know. Tesla just broke through. Tesla just broke through 440.
Bye-bye. Oh, no.
This is the thing. Like we wrote down there 430 as a possible, or 430. Yeah. So as soon as we busted right there, that could have been that should have been the long, right? You have to flip over. You have to flip over your ideas. Like that was 430 long. But here comes the fade maybe, right? I mean, that's a big move up. Now Tesla going up 1%. Do not want to fade strength right now. Only thing we're doing is shorting AMD. What's up, Dara?
This part of the show is brought to you by eSignal. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience that can help you analyze, strategize, and capitalize. Foresee profitable opportunities with a platform that meets your needs. There's also infinite data, which can lead to instant trading. Know where the market's moving before others with lightning-fast data and charts that change the game. Customize and analyze the markets faster in your way. There's also better backtesting and scanning to help you predict the future by understanding the past, along with reliable, real-time data. Up to the second market info from hundreds of global markets. That's everything you need all in one place. So don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Dara. And great look there because you want those tools. And look, we just broke 440 on Tesla. When I say we, I'm not in it, but the market is continuing to press. This is now at the prior highs. Look, it needs to break trend. The only way I want to execute on a steep upward trend is a break of that trend. Speaking of which, IBIT.
Diamonds.
And we track IBIT. I understand that I could look at Bitcoin specifically, but if I'm going to chart something, I'm going to chart IBIT. So the prices aren't going to have a heck of a lot of meaning here. But this is now starting to break its trend from the high of the day break. And like I said, I don't necessarily want to be in IBIT. It's MAR that never broke the high. I think that makes it distinctly different. So now that you're closing underneath, if this one does not break a triple top on this press up, I'm going to look for the curl off the top. And that's the difference. Almost every chart I'm looking at are a bunch of things that you needed to get the you-know-what out of Dodge if you were looking short. Like that's Rivian today. You know, like great. If it does what it does yesterday, fine. But this is a very, very different move. Short it. Our stop was always going to be at that prior high. And look at that sucker run. It's easy to say you should have reversed every single one. Like that exit looks like a golden entry point. But that's an easy thing to say. In the moment, you just got to trade your own plan. IBIT, as I said, is starting to revert a little bit here. So I want to stick to, if I'm going to go and do another short, it's got to be either a steep trend break on Tesla where I can get a tight stop with like $10 worth of upside, or the thing that hasn't broken the high of the day. That means it's relatively weak. So try to short weak stocks, ideally, and Mara hasn't broken that top.
Yeah, Bitcoin 97,000. That might be one of the better buys that I'll have there. Up about 2% or so. 94 change up to 97 change. Not too bad there on Bitcoin. Wow, SMCI. That's now about 15 or so, or maybe that's 10 or so minutes of straight upside right now for SMCI. Just starting to climb, like up $1.50 going. Remember, we do have the index action today, which this one will be going the other way. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with SMCI coming back in. We talked about some of the, I was actually looking here. You know, we do have some of these net numbers that we talked about.
Apollo's actually.
Yeah, Apollo is going to be a net trade to buy there today. These are values in millions. Here's Broadcom, Dow, Meta, Apple, Tesla. So all the big tech names to the downside. There's Palantir, MSTR, Workday. So we talk about those names being added. So those are going to be all buys as well. So we'll keep on looking at these as we get closer and closer. It has nothing, really right now, no one's going to be positioned into those.
445.
Yeah, as of right now. So yeah, wait for that. Wow. Glenn, you mentioned there in the chat, there he goes, that it's been all window dressing for Tesla the last couple of days. So I was wondering what was up with there. From the Buffalo Bulls. Yeah, that was hilarious there. Michael Jordan's alma mater. Big money bought puts, sold what they had, then bought back in cheap to show profits. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, there was a lot of money there made on Tesla. So to control a stock like Tesla is obviously going to be pretty tough to do, and it's doing hundreds of millions of shares. But yeah, I could, the market being rigged is not something that you have to convince me of. We've been saying that for 5 years. So yeah, no surprise there for theories like that on Tesla. But theories be damned, we are still just trading technicals right now. There goes AMD to the downside again as we trade weak names lower. That's my plan. That's what we're going to do. Not that AMD's, today it's not weak. But like an idea that we had was if we do get some bump ups in the market today, and this is what we wrote down on the sticky note. We're just trying to follow our plan right now. Only 5 years. What did I say about 5 years? I'll have to remember what I said there. All right, so I'm just saying that, it's been downward. You are getting a bump up today, but if we're going to be looking at what's been happening here with AMD, I definitely want to favor the shorts. So I was just thinking until we break above sort of this 50 period or this 200 period moving average that we want to sort of stay short. And it also coincides with this 121.75 top. So I'm going to give this a little bit of room on a violent day to get up to 122, but it's working so far. So we're actually out of half, a little bit more than half of this trade right now, to be honest with you. So yeah, so far so good. We'll just wait to see where this market wants to go from here and the rest of the day. It's only 10:42 right now. We have a big midday coming as well. I don't know what they're talking about, but it'll be something. Fibonacci lines. Oh, Fibonacci's? Okay, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, the Fibonacci's are going to be in play there. So if you're looking for some retracements and some Fibonacci plays, and to understand them.
I want to see how the midday trade goes again this time.
Yesterday was one of the first losing days, I think, for the Playmaker trade, I think.
Well, it was a tough day for the longs. On the
I wasn't here yesterday. Well, I wasn't here the day before, I mean.
It was 2 days ago.
Yeah, I wasn't here yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago. So yesterday was a winning day. Good job on that one. So AMD coming back and Adara at... Yep, and I'm even later now, Ramin. See what you just did there? Over to the screen with Adara. Very much.
Tons of strength in this market, so we'll start there. Great look for electronic technology, Broadcom, AMD, NVIDIA, Cisco all to the upside here, though Apple lagging a little bit. Then we have finance, the sector bouncing back nicely after pulling back along with the rest of the market on Fed Day, where we did have expectations of fewer than expected cuts for 2025. Then health technology, this is a great look here, led by Eli Lilly. Though Amgen and AbbVie are also pretty strong right now, a lot of the strength in this sector has to do with the fact that Novo Nordisk reported smaller than expected weight loss reduction in the trial for its CagriSema, its hybrid weight loss drug there. So keep an eye on LLY here. Consumer durable strong here, led by Tesla. Producer manufacturing, consumer services, utilities, transportation, and health services, as UNH and these health insurance stocks seem to battle back. Also on watch. There's no sectors that are notably red, though there's a little bit of weakness in consumer non-durables. Energy minerals also a little bit more mixed here. Industry a little bit more mixed. Retail trade a bit mixed. And oddly enough here, not super strong here on the technology services side of things. Microsoft, Meta, Google, all pretty much flat in the day. Those CRM, Palantir, and CrowdStrike, all pretty strong, guys. Back to you.
Ooh, CrowdStrike.
Yeah, Crowd is well, you know what? All of those have been moving. So I was just looking at a couple of names. I was just on Square, and then we sort of came back. But Crowd was a name that was bleeding underneath. Like some stocks had made a rebound already from prior lows the last couple of days. CrowdStrike was one that was underneath and looking like a potential continuation play. But suddenly, this one, zoom out, that's starting to look really, really good. Look at it catch up with the 50 period, consolidate, and the 50 period on the daily into that high. And all it's doing is holding and wanting to go higher and higher. So this is a good hold area for CrowdStrike. Maybe it does something in the new year. So Tesla, that was the first trend break was, it dropped like $3 on that move, like right away. I didn't chase it. It's putting in a lower high as we speak. But the other name, and I'm going to throw up here what's going on in Rivian. Well, if Tesla's already made that move on the steep trend line and Rivian's still going on its, then this is the one that looks like the better risk to reward setup. Because Tesla, I'd have to find some kind of an entry plan for this, which I don't want to be giving it to that top. The plan was to get the steep reversion. And I think Rivian's giving that to you right now, whereas Tesla, you had to get it on that snap back through 444, 443 and a half. So it is Rivian I'm going to like a little bit better here as it's breaking that steep trend line as we speak. It's a long way to VWAP at this point, like 3 points, 3% for Rivian back in. But suddenly you're getting a little bit of a mean reversion. Veros trades, Marvell going up. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's distinctly different from yesterday, right? Like Marvell was sort of a obvious 110 was holding all day long, and today Marvell is blasting because it broke out that 110 level. There's a lot of stocks that look a lot like this. Like the resistance that was good yesterday, blast off spots, more or less.
Yeah, today's been pretty wild for all of that kind of talk there, right? As we continue to look at some of these names, that Tesla's been awesome trade both ways, but you had to play the momentum for sure. All right, a name that was at a level here that we talked about quantum, we talked about Rigetti, we talked about QBTS, QTUM, all those kind of things. So right now, Google, I mean, again, a nice move, a little bit less in the market, but a huge move up off VWAP again. Like some of these continue to play over here. If we can come, what was that, Ramin? If we can come over here just to look at this 186 area. So there it was again. So if you had thought about the market going long today, I just want to say, despite looking at stocks, and this is what sort of gets me excited about looking at the futures, is right there. Like, why? I don't know why. Again, it's because we weren't looking long. We were short AMD when all this was happening or something, right? This is at just at 9 o'clock. So that's almost right off the open there. Sorry, it's saying 840, so that means 940. So yeah, so right off the open, we were thinking short. So that came in, but the bounce was like actually really well, right? It's almost off the bottom of the PCE number there, and then straight up. So not only did you have that as potential support, and again, this is why I really hate doing this, to be like, because it's just hindsight. Like I say, judge us for the trades we put on, and you can judge us for the way we speak as well. That's all great. But it's like, you know, you could take, and I talk about this with my kid, right? It's like, I don't snowboard. He's going snowboarding. So it's like, who would you rather trust? Like, I want him to learn from snowboarders that can go up there and actually snowboard. So it's like, when I'm going to look back here and be like, oh, this is a great long, that's nice. If you don't have it, you don't have it. We can look back and try to say this was a mistake. We could have had that. We had to also be short or long bias, which we weren't. So trying to get better, fine, but judge us for the trades that we put on and how we're explaining them as we're in them. Because as you're in trades, that's the pressure point. And I talk about this with OB all the time as well. If you're going to try to use more shares, then you have to have a certain level of confidence that the trade is working your way. And if it's not, where's the bail point? Like, where are you getting out, you know, when you're wrong? And then at the end of the day, you looked out and you say, that was wrong, that was right, that was wrong, that was right. If they're all the same strategy, then yeah, then hopefully you've share sized properly and you're up on the day or barely flat or barely red. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is make money. So you're going to have to do a good job of trying to judge risk and reward and levels and all that kind of jazz. So right there, we're taking out another piece. We just got some out there. And again, just because as we're talking about it, we're noticing that here it's coming back in. So we're still trying to hold on. We got a decent size here on AMD. And let's see if it gets back into the downside. We're waiting for 120 to break a little bit lower.
Yeah, and the market, for the first time, could be putting a red candle in. There was one at there was one on the 15-minute here. And it's since the sharp move that we had, you're getting that reversion. I already told you guys that Tesla, that setup that we wanted on the steep reversion, like it happened and I didn't get in. So I went over to Rivian, which was also, was on the trade plan, and it had the steep move, same thing, steep reversion. I was able to get 87s. I actually tried to get 89s. I got 87s. The stop is at the high. The high is, what did my thing say? The high is 95, actually. My thing says 1403, but the high is 1395. So that's where my stop is, technically at 96. Want to play it back into VWAP as we speak. We just got to 97,000 on Bitcoin.
Ooh.
So this is still, it's underneath that 98 level, but it's also starting to look like it wants to break this trend. It looks like it, and we're getting to where we were in the aftermarket yesterday when things rolled over. Now, if I extended that out, you could see we didn't really break those highs, and there was a big quadrunk in the aftermarket on Bitcoin. You're not going to see that with IBIT. The other things that were really strong, I shouldn't say were really strong, are really strong, like Apple. It's already made a lower high. So you are seeing a few of the big names that were pulling us up here starting to show some signs of a bit of a turn. So you're at a pretty big decision point. That's usually a better time to try to put them on. But as soon as I just showed you, we're getting filled just better than 1-to-1 on Rivian, and you're already starting to get a bit of a bounce. I look over and Tesla's back at 440 as well. Tesla was just at 37, and it's already back at 440 in the time that we were just explaining what was going on here in that Rivian trade. So if we're going to continue to go lower, the names that got us here, you want them to put in lower highs and continue to do so. And if that doesn't happen, look at the rocket ship. At some point, you want to get out of the way. Still like Apple for a long, but it doesn't really look as strong as it did before. Tesla is Look at them gobble that up. And it's consistent volume, too, on Tesla. Look at the consistency. Like, it's not, there's no big, massive spikes outside of the low. And it's hard to see because of the opening candle. Like, outside of this low, it's just doing consistent volume into 11 o'clock. It's like program buying on this thing right now. Super strong name. But if it holds the lower high, that's a different story. If we don't hold a lower high, then I don't add the shares I was intending on in Rivian. Because as far as I'm concerned, the leading indicator has just regained the trend to the upside. Why would you bother adding to the position? It doesn't make any sense. That's a crazy bit. Like, this was going everything to plan. Roll over, which I'm going to watch it. I have it on another level too. If it rolls over from here, great. Then I can go back in at the same price level that we get on Rivian, and we'll work back into the trade. But I'm watching Tesla like a hawk because it's going to bleed everything to the upside. I know Tesla's up 1%, Rivian's up 6%. But trust me, if Tesla breaks the high, market breaks the high, you get a lot of stops and algos that are doing the same thing here. And no need to fight the trend even more. And I only got about 10% out there. Right? Like, I'm looking to be taking bulk of the shares into VWAP on a trade like this.
All right, 10.52 right now. The dollar, we haven't talked too much about the dollar right now, so let's go over to the big desk with Adara and find out what's talking in the money sector.
We will be talking about money, but quickly I want to talk about a couple catalysts I just saw popping in here. Keep an eye on CELH, Sports Business, reporting that Lewis Hamilton, who is a race car driver, is reportedly close to signing a commercial agreement with Celsius. So keep an eye on CELH. The other stock to watch out here for is TSM, Taiwan Semi. Apparently there are some reports here coming through that the U.S. is planning on blacklisting the company that ordered that TSMC chip found in that Huawei processor, if you do recall that story. TSM denies that they sent this, but keep an eye here in TSMC, or TSM, sorry, is the ticker with that catalyst. What a bearish engulfing candle here for the DXY. We had a great move up here on that FOMC day. Then we had a nice push up here today. We open higher. Thursday we had a push up. Today we open higher. Then we end up right now having a bit of a bearish engulfing move here for the DXY, currently trading around that 108 level. Lower than expected prints across the board for PCE. So PCE, core PCE on a both month-over-month and year-over-year basis, all lower than expected. We also had lower than expected data here for the Michigan inflation print. So we're seeing 3% versus 3.1% previous for 5-year. For the 1 year, it came in at 2.8% versus 2.9% previously. So all of these numbers pretty good for the market. Not so good here for that US dollar. As mentioned here, Canadian dollar in its second green day as of earlier today. Let's talk a little bit as well here about some Fed speak. Most notably, comments from Fed's Goolsbee. As mentioned, they gave the market a little push to the upside. Basically, Fed's Goolsbee, to some extent, echoing some of the comments made by Fed Chair Powell, saying that the Fed is waiting to see what we get here from the new Trump or incoming Trump administration with regards to policy, because those policies, specifically with regards to tariffs, could really impact rates. That's what Fed's Goolsbee is saying, and that's why there's a little bit more hesitant with regards to the rate path. However, one thing that he said that was pretty huge here is that rates will come down by a judicious amount next year. So expecting some rate cuts, specifically saying that he is expecting cuts within the next 12 to 18 months. So maybe a little bit more of an optimistic rate picture than what we got from Fed Chair Powell and the dot plot. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you guys.
I don't believe you. Like, judicious rates will come down.
Yeah. Liar.
Yeah, I don't know. CLH, I was telling Sean, I'll have to look this one up because I'm 99.9% sure, like 98% sure, maybe not that high, that there was one of the Paul brothers news.
Right, right, you were saying.
Was it Jake or was it the other Paul? Oh yeah, there was some news, and it moved CELH yesterday, and so maybe it was. Again, I'll look it up there. But CELH actually moved down just there, like the actual volume spike was pulling it back in. So not a heck of a lot that looks pretty good. Obviously, you're gonna see. Yeah, I didn't get filled on Rivian. It came in, it did the curl off the high, so I didn't want to add on the way up. I tried to get it on the way down. There was no consolidation, so I did not get the ad. Obviously. Still have my next bid in front of 70, 60, 50. Not bidding VWAP just yet. And then I see par. Is it pair or par? Par. I think it's par in the chat. That SMCI is starting to look weak. So I slapped this trend on SMCI, and it went parabolic and gave you the parabolic reversion. And now all of a sudden it's under the day-long trend as well. So it's set up under the day trend, which does give you a shot into VWAP, and it's starting to barcode. As the market goes higher, it starts to barcode. So I think I would agree with you that it's at least starting to look a little bit weak. But if you're watching Tesla, it's doing something similar. Like it broke the trend line, and now you're holding another higher low. Want this thing to roll over, obviously. And not just because I think that would help Rivian get into VWAP, but at the end of the day, like it's been leading this market to the upside. I feel like it was one of the more parabolic names. So if it comes in, it's probably going to drag some things. Like every single time Tesla does a big dump the last 2 days, it's been dragging things down with it. It's been one of the leading indicators when the market does turn. And I want to shout out to Dale in the chat. You watched Rogue Trader last night.
What's up, Dale?
It's free on YouTube. I had no idea that Rogue Trader was free on YouTube. And we were talking about it yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Obi said he wanted to go home and watch it. I'm pretty sure he said he did. He messaged me this morning. Fun movie and a good lesson on cost averaging down on a falling knife. Also remember, like there's a few
fun lesson.
There's a few other things in there that I didn't want to spoil, but like there's a lot of blame gets put on. Obviously, like Nick Leeson did the trades, but let's just say when you watch it, the bank itself, they had their own issues, and they did a lot of things foolishly that led to those. And I don't want to spoil the entire movie for you, but it's not all on him. Like he shouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things that he was able to do. Like it exacerbated the situation. Like his trading, had they not had some compliance issues, could never have bankrupted them. It's that simple. So that's just one little tidbit on that story that's worth mentioning. And we actually it was 4 years ago. We had him on the program, right? So
yeah.
Was it 4 years ago? 2020, I believe.
It seems maybe even longer than that, but yeah,
I think probably,
that makes about sense. Right there, yeah, go back, check it out in the archives. All right, so just, all right, well, we are reloaded. So right now, there it is. So we'll take in another 20 cents here on AMD. And honestly, guys, I mean, AMD will obviously lead the way today. We only made one mistake on it, and it was really short there kind of early. Since then, it's been good. That break of 120, I don't consider that a mistake. We talked about what we're looking for. I still think the market pulls back. I mean, we're talking about the NASDAQ here today, and we're still well under. Like, I'm not really trying to turn bullish until this is 2170. So 21,700, like that kind of a break spot right there. Obviously, it's a huge move to the upside right now, but we're gonna stay dead red right now, like looking red. We're not red, but looking red in the market right now. So we'll stay like that for advanced micro devices as it pulls back in. Like, look at it, give this pull again. This is the only stock we're looking at right now. Reload, 3 reloads, now out, back inside. So it's making some sense. We talked about our stop is about $1 from here. Let's see if we can go a little hands off and get back to the downside right now with advanced micro devices. Fibonacci's coming up right now. Do I like AMD long term? No. What's up, BPN Mega? The only name in the space I like long-term is going to be NVIDIA. I mean, I have a chance to look at Broadcom maybe as well, but I just think if you're going to be in one of them, you might as well be in the best. And even buying tops has been a good move as well. Like, you can even wait until this thing breaks 150. I wouldn't. But yeah, AMD is down like 25% on the year. Like, if your money's been in AMD and Intel and all that and missed out on NVIDIA and Broadcom, that's why I've always suggested, if you're not sure on what you want to do, flip it over, get into SMH, get into the SOXL, get into something like that, and you'll be able to, weather the storm a little bit better and still have some exposure and have tons of exposure to the semis. That's what SMH is. So, all right, thank you, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. We're still in this AMD, and I'm actually going to take out a little bit more right now at 63 if we can. We'll put a bid right there, hopefully get filled on AMD. So it's a 35-cent winner, but we're waiting for a lot more down near 120. So yeah, we're back at 2.
We're back at 2, but for now, you got some Fibonacci's.
Yes, go learn about
the professor and Joey Options.
Joey Options, yeah.
Go get it.
Good job, Joey Options.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade during the midday. That is your boy Joey Options, and I am Sharif, and we're gonna wait for everyone to weasel their way on over from the other stream. Shout out to Darwin, who says, "Love me some Fibonacci's." Yeah, the jokes are gonna come fast and furious today. We're well aware of that. Shout out to Tammy KB. We got Adam Deluce. We got Sixto V and Jorge Alvarado. The Sankofa as well. Shout out to T Money and Abhu. Go Hoos, as well as Malinowski. We got Epic Strategy. Shout out to them. Dude Rocks 420. What are you doing this Friday night? I have an idea. Lord Sanchez, as well as El Sol. Pitchbull. Shout out to VR Trades. Julio Trillo and Tang Bob. I like that one. And who else we got over here? We got Bilan Wood and Alexis Davis.
Alexis
Shout out to everybody.
Davis. Alex Davis himself there, my guy. I mean, hey, Shreve, I was telling you, Sean and yourself, I was talking to earlier in the day, and I said when the VIX spikes up over 60%, kind of like it did on the carry trade in the middle of the summer there, and like how it did when we had that FOMC meeting, sure enough, the market within a month or so, even less, creates new all-time highs.
Absolutely.
So are we headed on that type of trajectory?
Well, you know, like you're going to have to correct anyway. We'll have to wait and see. It looks awfully bullish right now. I thought we were going to fail 21.5 on the future, the new March contract, but we are headed up, sir. 562 now, HOD. We're in TSLL. We caught that dip off 437.5. We're going TSLL, not TSLA. It's not showing up on the board yet, but it will once we take a fill. So here's the deal. We're doing what I perceive to be a bull pennant. We had that big boy move off the implied balance low on that 417, and we did not stop till we took 444.4. That's $444.40 HOD. We dipped back down to a predictable area of support. Where's that at? That's yesterday's closing print at 436 and change. Also happened to be the 10 exponential. Now we're putting in higher lows, but we're putting in lower highs, doing that compression pattern. My hunch says we resolve to the upside, so that's why we're involved. We shall see. Looks like we're getting some good defense right now. Apple taking out high days. Softy taking out high days, Joseph. But I'm done talking about that. We're going to talk about these sectors, and then we're going to weasel into the lesson.
Dude, not a red sector today.
Choo.
That's the first time I've seen that in a long time. There's no doubt about that. But guys, top performing sectors, win, place, show. First, second, third, let's go. First place, surprisingly, is real estate up about 2 1/10 there, guys. 2% on real estate. Healthcare up about 1 1/4 as well, too, folks. Oh. And then financials, taking that show money, 1 2/10 there, guys, 1.2% on the session. Okay, so that we're going to go from the bottom up. Consumer staples, only up about 1/4% there, folks. And then we got the communication services up about 7/10, and then the utilities about 0.75% on the session. So those are the bottom three, and they're not too bad because the whole market is green today. So, I mean, no one wanted JP to rain on the Santa Claus parade that bad. We are slowly starting to recover, which is beautiful, but we needed that dip. And sure enough, we are slowly starting to recover. So
straight line, man.
You know, straight line, yeah, exactly. So everybody's like, no, not today, Papa Powell. You're not going to rain on this Christmas party, that's for sure.
Should we get into these Finabachis or what?
Finnabachi.
We're going to learn how to cook these Finnabachi fish anyway. So just joking, of course. Welcome. Today, guys, we're going to explore Fibonacci fan lines, one of the most popular tools in technical analysis. You may already be obviously familiar with Fibonacci retracement levels, which are kind of used to identify areas of potential support and resistance. These Fib fan lines, though, they extend this concept a little bit further by using a set of angled lines to help predict how price may behave based on these Fib ratios, okay? So these lines can give us kind of clues about potential trend reversals or corrections that we may have. So hopefully by the end of this lesson, we'll have a better understanding of how to use and draw these Fib fan lines and how to apply them to real world trading. So let's get right to business, baby. But I just want to put up my Tesla side chart over here. Make sure that all is jiving. Are we good? Yeah, we're going. Okay. All right. So, yes, thank you very much to the best production team around for Fibonacci. Shout out to Adara, who is quite amused with watching me cook with my fish hands there.
It's crazy.
I don't think that my hands would probably smell that good, Joseph.
No, I would assume not.
I have like a dumb smirk looking on my face. I don't know
like
why,
the
bro.
smirk,
Whatever,
man.
bro. Anyway, not my best moment there, Joseph, but we're going to move on. All right, so let's go. So understanding these fib fan lines. So these Fibonacci fan lines are trend lines that are drawn from significant highs or significant lows on the chart, obviously, and they follow, as I mentioned, the fib ratios, 38.2, 50%, 61.8, etc. We all know the different ratios. The most important thing to remember, however, is that these lines are angled projections of these fib ratios. So we're not using the horizontal fib ratios. No, we're going to use kind of these diagonal trend lines based on the fib ratios. So instead of drawing horizontal levels, we draw angled trend lines that represent the Fibonacci retracement levels. So here's how they're created. So we'll just get like a quick understanding of how they look IRL. And so again, we get it from an area low. We can tell we troughed over here, and then we take our fib tool, we drag from the low point, and then we pull it up all the way into that area high. Okay, which is right over here. So we have a starting point over here. We have an ending point over here. So we can draw vertical trend lines at the starting point and another vertical trend line at the end point. And then we drag our fib tool, and then we basically draw trend lines from the opening point right where our vertical trend line is, and we draw the intersection with the retracement level. Obviously, I'm going to go into this again, but I just want to highlight that. So step number one, first, identify a significant high and a significant low on the chart. That's your first order of business. Next, the software will plot lined angles from the starting point of the trend line, right, using that 38.2, 50, 61.8 retracement levels. These angled lines provide insight into where support and resistance may form as the price moves through time. So think of them as dynamic support and resistance levels that shift with time rather than staying fixed. For example, in an uptrend, the price might retrace downwards, and the first line, that 38.2, could act as support. If it breaks through that, you could be looking for support at that 50% retracement. And this is kind of what we're talking about. Point number one, you've got that vertical trend line drawn at your area trough. You're going to draw another vertical line at your area crest, and then you're going to use your fib tool to drag from the low to the high. Let's just do it IRL right here, man.
Yeah. Let's do IRL. Excuse me.
Bro, I thought there was a police siren. What's going on up there, bro? Jeez.
Excuse me, man.
It's like
There's a monster gym session.
Dara level yawn. Bro.
Yeah.
Dara can get those yawns, trust me. Get it, Dara. All right, so let's just use this example. Joseph Tesla, we're in it right now. Let's take that fib fan line. Let's remove some of these. All right, let's do this IRL. So we're going to take our fib tool, and we're going to drag from the area low all the way up into that area high. But we haven't done our vertical trend lines yet. Those are really important. We got to draw one at the beginning of the trend, and then we're going to draw a next one at the end. That's important because if you don't know where to draw from, then it's not going to work out. So here we go. Now we're going to draw the intersection with the first one up here, that 38.2. So there's your area low. I'm going to draw, and then we're going to intersect with that first line right with that next horizontal line. We're going to do the same thing for that 61.8. There you go, just like that. And then you can kind of you guys get it. You'll be able to do it. So let's move on. All right, so how do these compare to Gann lines? Because we were talking about Gann lines the other day. So how do these fib fan lines differ from Gann lines? So both rely on angles and both can help forecast, that potential support and resistance zone, but they come at it from two different schools of thought. The fib fan lines are based on these well-known Fibonacci sequences, which is a mathematical series that occurs in nature, and it's often applied to the financial markets. The Gann lines, on the other hand, they focus primarily on specific geometric angles. We talked about that 45-degree angle, etc., rather than using these mathematical sequences. So while both provide visual tools for identifying key levels, the fib fan lines are anchored to the fib ratios, which many traders believe have a natural connection to market behavior. Okay? So how do we practically apply these IRL? So we'll stop right here. I think we can kind of take a little bit of a break because the market's hot. So we'll actually talk about how to apply it when we kind of taking a little bit of a break. What are you looking at, Joseph?
Are we taking a little bit of a break here? No, I was just looking for a specific ad that I do not have, so that's okay.
Yeah, I can read it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's load up. Just take over for a second, and I'll do the
of course, I got you at all times, my guy. But hey, one thing that we also need to get in, though, Sharif, too, is the rundown poll. So I'll take it from you.
Yeah, how about you send that to Ramram?
Okay, yeah, you cool with that?
Yeah,
sounds good to me, brother.
All right,
Ramram,
set
it up.
Do the.
It's gonna get chaotic now.
Right, it's just.
Are we live? We're ready to go?
Yeah, we're good. We just got to switch it. All right, guys. This Christmas, give yourself the gift of smarter trading with trade ideas. Don't miss out on 25% off all subscriptions, including upgrades to premium. You'll be able to unlock trading tools and insights to take your strategy to the next level. But hurry, this special offer ends December 26th, and use the code MARYXMAS25, XMAS. And check out the big savings. So visit trade-ideas.com today and make this holiday season your most profitable ever.
Hey, and the way the markets are moving, my guy, that's leading in that path. So, I mean, we're still slowly recovering. We're not really anywhere near where we were from that sell-off, but it's nice to see a little bit of recovery here in the market. So let's see how much we're down off of those highs. And I don't know if by Christmas holiday or by the New Year we're going to get back up there. But again, this is a positive sign. Love it when that works all the time. But anyways, we'll get that metric later, folks. But here we are. Nice engulfing candle here. As you can see where we opened up yesterday and then we closed, we even continued to gap down. But then we had PCE come in this morning. So those numbers were a little bit better than consensus. So that, again, may be a little influence on the current rally that we have, because I'm watching some of these mega cap tech stocks continue to move to the northeast. Amazon is making new highs a day. Google is as well. And Tesla's just hovering around those areas. I want to see up to what Apple is up to, and yeah, because I think, yeah, sure enough, 1 minute, we're at high a day as well too on that front. So as long as these mega caps are continuing to crawl higher, this market is going to go with it. There's no doubt about it. Apple being the closest one to its all-time highs, and it would, I mean, I think it was the least damaged out of everybody else, out of all these stocks. So again, continuing to crawl higher. NVDA, new high a day as well too. We have a nice consolidation phase on some of these mega cap tech stocks all the way up here. I'm not going to be chasing anything, but when you see this type of pattern, maybe we can continue to the top side here. So we have a definitive base around 133-ish, we'll call it, and then now we're just continuing to crawl higher. So a beautiful support system there, and then now going to push for some new high of days. Let's see if we can, yeah, so look, I'm going to look for some potential resistance up in this level here, the 134 exactly where we had that pivot on yesterday's session, and then we decided to sell off a little bit. So we're going to keep an eye on those levels. If we get any indecision prints on that front, then maybe we look for a short. But as of right now, I'm not going to try to short this market, especially because it is extremely strong. I need to see a definitive signal, and you guys know what type of signals I'm looking for. I want to see that correlation with volume and price. I want to see that outlying volume signature and then a potential pivot signal in that candle as well too. So we got to keep an eye out for those because of how extended we may be to the top side. So again, focusing on that, not in anything. You guys know I would like to be in some IBIT here, but again, I'm not chasing it all the way up here. I'm expecting somewhat of that volatility skew to step in. Because you know Bitcoin can put in those 10K days at any given moment. So again, we had a low of about 91K, we'll call it 92 flat, and it's no stranger to putting in those $10,000 days. So if it decided that it really wanted to, we can go and touch that 102, 103 level without a doubt on that front. But again, we're gonna have to wait. I was telling Sharif off camera, I'm like, hey, if this closes how it is right now, I got something to do on that front. So yeah, we're going to wait. We're going to be extremely patient. And then with that patience and something shows up, we're going to pounce like a tiger. There's no doubt
All
about
right,
that.
Joseph, I made a mistake. I misread the code for trade ideas. So if you guys want to get that discount, the code for trade ideas, guys, is Trader TV 25. There it is. Make sure to use the link in the description or to scan that QR code on the bottom right of your screen there. Shout out to the good folks, guys, at Trade Ideas. And, you know, we're always using that kind of thing. So here's the deal. We're back. I didn't mention my trade about OPTX, so I had it off camera. So let's talk a little bit about it. OPTX is a big boy. It's up 75% on the day, was up higher at the highs at 385. So my initial dalliance with this one was a move back into the volume weighted average price right around that $2 and 2/3 right area. We cut the bottom wick there. Scalp, all the way up. Then we took the break of 3. We took it out at the 2/3 of a dollar, Joseph. All right. So we were done our trade there. Now here we go back into the volume weighted average price, doing a bit of a compression pattern, but we are putting more lower highs, or like the lower highs are more aggressive than the higher lows. So I put my stop through the break of the area, or the area wick, which I see to be below the $0.25. So we're in at 37s, it's dallying here at 40s. We've already scalped up into 60s, but I'm looking for this one to hold VWAP. That's my move here. If VWAP is gonna get given up, that's the end of the trade. I'm not gonna fall in love with the stock. It has to make sense from a technical sense. So that's what we're doing right now. We got a couple more outs on this bad boy. Let's see what TSLL is up to. We're at 06s. What's this one doing? Okay, so this one now has found itself in a consolidation, and by extension of that, of course, Tesla is in a bit of a consolidation. It is putting in slightly higher lows over here. So if you look at the area where I got in at 33s on TSLL, we are incrementally kind of putting in even the wicks. The wicks are a little bit lower than their predecessors. Now we're coming up into that two-thirds of a dollar zone. Let's see if we can take out this area high decisively. Can we print 70s? 75s here on TSLA. So it looks like I got stopped out of there of OPTX. So that's fine. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. And then we'll look to get back in if VWAP is reclaimed. But now back to TSLL. So let's see if we can take out that 75 penny area, or are we still going to be stuck in this range that we're doing over here? So if we are going to be stuck in that range, if that's a fact, if we drop down from 33 and 2/3 right back into that $0.25, that fifth of a dollar, well then, why am I not adding? Why am I not adding on the successive dips? The trend is up. We're up 2%. The trend that preceded the consolidation is an uptrend. Okay, so then I should be, if I'm to trade this correctly, and if I'm seeing it right, I should be adding at 33 and a fifth to 33 and a quarter, which is what I'm going to do. We're going to throw out that order right now. We're going to sit at 25s, and we're going to look to add if this comes back down into that $0.25. So that's what I'm looking at right now on TSLL, and obviously trading TSLA. But look, let's call a spade a spade. Tesla's the weakest of the bunch right now. That's the way it is. Apple's blowing through highs. Microsoft is about to take out 440. It just printed the high of the day. Meta just glanced at 600, up to 603/4. And then look what Amazon's doing. Amazon just printed the high day. Tesla's literally the only one that is not printing the high day right now. So that's a problem. Now, does that mean that it kind of does its own thing? Maybe when these 6 get a pullback, we'll see. It's putting in higher lows. You guys can see we're holding the 10 exponential quite respectfully here on the chart, but we are not making highs. So that's some food for thought, like for myself and for whoever's looking to trade this. So yeah, that's my situation right now. What do you got?
I'm still waiting here, man. I don't want to be chasing anything up here because Google's making all-time high or high of day as well too, man. So again, I don't want to get too trigger happy and start chasing things up here when we could be in for a potential pullback. I need to wait for a specific signal, and in order to do that, we need price to come into our favor and start pull back a little bit here. So we're gonna just sit, pack our patience, be extremely select. We're gonna be like a sniper today and just wait for those prestige opportunities. But we're gonna send it off to Adara real quick.
About some of the strongest names here to the upside and we can to the downside on the S&P 500 as you always do here around 11:20 a.m. Right now we're going to really talk about some of these stronger catalyst-driven names that are leading the market today to the upside. Before we do that, make sure you take the time to vote in the poll for one of the top 4 tickers there to take a look at here during the rundown. Then at 1 p.m., we'll get another poll. So basically, you're going to have 2 options to vote. You can vote in both polls. The top 5 of those 8 tickers will be covered on the rundown at 2 p.m. with Sean. and Neil and Sharif will be standing right here where I am at the green screen, gesticulating wildly, if you will, about these tickers. So make sure to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to talk about these tickers making strong moves to the upside, led by Broadcom. We do have a CEO, Hock Tan, speaking positively here, expecting a decades-long AI chip boom. So great look here for AVGO, up almost 4%. Eli Lilly here, definitely near its day lows, but still up about 5% here. This is an antipathy play with Novo Nordisk, which basically released data that was positive, but not as positive as was expected for its CagriSema drug trial. So it's basically their hybrid weight loss drug that found reduction of 22.7% for weight loss versus 25% expected. So LLY. Also, AbbVie and Amgen also trading nicely off of that number. Last but not least, these solar names really strong here. ENPH, Enphase, really emblematic of this strength. We did get this report from Reuters earlier today that data center power in the U.S. could account for as much as 12% of total U.S. electricity consumption, and that this demand could nearly triple by the time we reach 2028. So solar names seem to be rallying off this headline, guys. Back to you. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Malinowski's making me chuckle in the chat.
Yeah, she just got sued, eh? They finally sued.
Bro.
Yeah.
You can't pull the rug like that and make a crap coin and expect just to like walk away scot-free. No.
Yeah, like, I'm not even gonna get started on that front, man, because it's absolutely bizarre just how someone just says something like that on TV and becomes famous. But anyways, not like a lioness sniper, more like the sniper from behind enemy gates or whatever it is, that Russian guy, Vitali or whatever his name is. Yeah, that's
behind enemy lines. Vitali Zaitsev,
baby. That's exactly it. That's what we're going for on that front, guys. So again, let's see what's going on here. I mentioned this time and time again, and I'm going to stick to that same narrative. I'm not going to be chasing all the way up here. I think it'd be crazy for me. Oh, actually, I do. Why do I say things like that, Shreve? Because I kind of like Tesla up here. We're going to take a little stab on it. Nothing crazy. Yeah, why not, man? When in Rome.
With you, brother.
When in Rome. But we're way up here, so I'm not expecting too much. If we break, let me pull up some TSLA here, because if we break this support system that we got going on, then I'm going to get out of that trade. There's no worried about that. But as of right now, with nice consolidation phase, up about 3% on TSLA, so about 1 and change, I think, on Tesla. So again, holding 32.93 really well. Let's see if we can go and break that high a day. If volume steps in, then we're going to be sitting on some pretty pennies on that front. But again, we're just going to pack our patience a little bit. Nothing crazy size. And let's see if Tesla can break high a day here, my guy.
I like it, guys. GameStop is breaking out. It's starting to knock on the door of 29 3/4 at the moment. I'm keeping GameStop on watch. Obviously, still below that $30. It's below yesterday's high, but it is green. It's up 2.5. $29 was the closing print. We bull flagged, this was a bull flag with higher highs and higher lows, and we're big boy breaking through that $29.50 right now, up into that $0.75. Liquidity's decent on the day. Where's my GME data at? Excuse me for a second. We got decent liquidity. That's not even that great. We only have about 3.5 million shares, 3.6 million shares. Okay, so that's not that great, but it's okay. It's looking good. So anyway, GameStop is on watch. I could possibly have a dip trade, maybe 29.50, 29.55 to kind of take advantage of that, what I see to be a consolidation zone, the top end of the consolidation zone. So that's my look. As you can see, Tesla is breaking out. It's still below that $444.40 area, but we're doing all right on this one right now. So I have my dip trade, which I think is no longer valid at 33.25. I may have to move that up into 33 mid-40s to even 33.50s just to account for these area lows over here. So we were bouncing off 33.40s there. Between like 11.15 to 11.22. So we'll see. I'd like to add to this position if I'm able to. Just has to be at the right area. We're still putting in higher lows and now higher highs off the 10 exponential. But everything else is strong. So I may have to weasel into another mag name here. Apple looks good. It's cleared 250 by some distance. Now we're coming into yesterday's high. So have a look at how high we got here at 11:30. On AAPL before we got that big boy red candle, and then we dropped all the way down to VWAP. We were around 21 3/4, 251, and 3/4. That's where we're at right now. We're moving into 80s. We just printed another high day on Apple, so we're looking for 252. But again, this is a zone. It's not a exact price level. Like we're at yesterday's highs on Apple, so let's be on the lookout for that possible area where it could retrace. That's it. It may keep going. So we'll keep an eye on that. And it's also around 252, the whole dollar level, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. Microsoft is also quite strong. Now, it may not be the biggest winner percentage-wise on the day, but have a look at that greenery right there. This is the 5-minute look on MSFT, and it's moving up nice. It's $10 off the low. It's printed highs, nary a red candle. The only red candle I can find, Joseph, that 1055, and it looks more like a candle of indecision. Softy's going.
MSFT.
Softy, the snowman.
Softy, the snowman. Yeah, he's very jolly today. There's no doubt about that, guys. Continuing to move really nice. This is beautiful stuff. What a recovery. This is the type of reaction you want to see from the market, especially after those two really tough sessions. So, I mean, hey, man, I would rather the market just get their selling done really quick and we rebound off of that than having a bunch of this nonsense and noise that you see kind of in bearish markets. But again, I like that solid recovery from the market thus far. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I would like to see us go and test the highs in the near future, but again, I don't know if we're going to get there by Christmas or the New Year, but I like GME where it's at, Sharif.
Yeah.
It did break that resistance level around 29.50, now trading up to 29.77s. Volume is slowly starting to step in on that front, but what is starting to pull back here is TSLL. Again, yeah, that's why I don't love buying the tops here, but again, we'll just hold on to this one. We have an out at 33. If that's the case, then so be it. But guys, let's take a look at what we got on the top scanners here so far on the session. APTO, that's more around your, I think your wheelhouse there, Sharif. Up there, 208 million shares traded on the session.
Yeah, Fisho was saying that.
Yes. So NVDA usually at the top of its class with 105 million, and then a bunch of other small caps getting involved in there. So I'm going to have to switch up this scanner a little bit because we'll keep it at stocks over about 10, 15 bucks there. But again, I like where TSLL is sitting, has a lot of volume. Everything's really liquid on the session thus far. So again, I really like this price action. We are extremely extended off the volume weighted average price. So eventually I do think we get a pullback. If we can continue to climb higher, then so be it. I'm not going to cry or complain about it, that's for sure. So again, let's see what's going on. Extremely, look at how extended we are off of VWAP. So I will expect somewhat of a pullback here at some time throughout this session. Sharif, what do you got cooking up?
I'm keeping my eye on TSLL, sir, because I want to weasel back in. So here we go with the 50s. This is the area where I may want to weasel in. Look, so I'm going to look to get in on the low end of the 10 exponential, or sorry, right near the 10 exponential is what I'm trying to say. You know, look what over here. So I'm keeping an eye on this right now. I want to see exactly where we're going to weasel in. Okay, so let me just have a look quickly at some of the MAG right now. I can't believe we cleared 500 by already 175 points on the NQ. We were at 21,500 when you and I got on the show, or very near the time we got on the show, and now we got to 21,675. And Tesla hasn't done all that much during the time. So here we go. So I'm leaving my order right there. Let's see what it does at the 10 exponential. So this is my look to get in. I've got it at the $0.25. We're gonna weasel in one here. Right. Okay, good. So we just added to that position. So now we have a higher cost basis, obviously at that $0.25 now. We'll see if this $0.25 area wants to get filled. We're still leaving my order at the $0.25 active. So that's what I'm looking at right there. The big smiled ones in the house. Big smile, Burdette. Sharif, Joe, hope you all have a great day. Was done early today. Get long stonks. Let me know when the LOD hits. Thanks. We love you, Big Smile. And hopefully we will see you before Christmas, because I'd love to wish you a Merry Christmas, but I'll message you anyway. So yeah. So that's the look there. What else are we looking at? So we're in a little bit more TSLL here. Amazon's breaking into highs again. Apple's breaking into highs. So is Softy. So is Google. So is the Future. Come on, Tesla. Well, we're off the low, so it's not a bad look here, Joseph. So here's the deal right now. That's what I'm going to need to keep my eye out on Tesla, because I'm not really happy with this consolidation crap that it's doing right now, and everything else is breaking into highs.
Like that, dude. That is okay. This is fantastic. This is a work of art. This is Microsoft. Microsoft. Yeah, it's Softy, the soft one. But I'll tell you, I don't think that this is sustainable. I don't want to be Papa Powell here and rain on the fantastic parade that we're having on this session. But this price action is not sustainable, I don't think. So we're going to see a pullback eventually. Like, we're just straight up. How come I didn't see this thing? This is absolutely beautiful. Wow. Yeah, feeling a little FOMO on that front. Let's zoom out or zoom in a little bit here, folks, and see what it was like at the 1 minute. Yeah, geez, that's my style of trading. Unfortunately, we missed out on that one and kind of the rally this morning. Didn't take any trades up until now. So again, let's see what's going on. I really like what this front's bringing, so I can't complain. I'm trying to buy any dip. We're in this TSLA, not the best entry, buying the top of resistance, but that's okay. It's all part of the game that we play. But let's see if we pull back. We hold this level. We hold that 33.15. Then maybe we can reassess the situation and look to get involved. But I just think we're really extended right now. So enough of that talk. Let's see what you guys are. Is taking no prisoners today. Yeah, exactly. It's squeezing today, man. It's absolutely beautiful. There's no doubt about that, folks. Continue to let me know what you guys are looking at in the chat. Let's take a look at Walmart. I know Paul in the chat's always talking about Walmart. Yeah, and it's moving extremely beautiful as well, too. A nice bottoming signal on Walmart right here. About 15 minutes after that opening drive, then you get the indecision. And sure enough, you punch through VWAP with momentum and then continue to the northeast. So fantastic price action. What an absolute monstrous day so far, man. This is crazy, the way that we're climbing up higher and higher. And SPY making new highs a day. Like Q's making new highs of day. NVDA going in for a new high a day as well too. Like, oh my days, this is this is crazy. For all my Love Island UK fans out there. Oh my days.
That is a British expression. Yeah, I was gonna say when I was in England, that's what they would all say.
Oh my days, oh my days, mate. So I'm gutted. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gutted.
Yes. I'm gutted, and that's where I got buzzing from, because they're like, I'm buzzing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so okay. I'm buzzing. Big Love Island fan, the UK one that is. So yeah, we steal their slang. My guy ADL in the chat.
I love
there.
that. Oh, gee.
Yeah,
all right.
What do you got going on, brother?
We're in a new position, Joseph. We weaseled into QUBT. Now I'm going to build my position here as this one continues to respect the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. I'm going to set up a dip trade over here right where, oh, wow, that zigged and zagged. Okay, I was going to set up a dip trade at 19. That got away from 19 really quick. Okay, so I may not get that. We'll have to wait and see. I've thrown it out there in any event. Tisha, I see you, girl. Sharif, number 1 small cap runner today. MYSZ today. Thoughts? Say less. We're going to load it up on the side. GameStop's breaking out too, guys, by the way. GameStop's going to take 30 awfully soon. All right, let's put MYSZ. Oof. All right, that's aggressive. Let's flip to the 1. We're whiffling and waffling, Tisha. This is the one. Look at this. Okay, it's decent in the sense that it's putting in higher lows, but now we find ourselves putting in lower highs for a while. We're whiffling and waffling here with the volume weighted average price. I need a change in trend now. We're kind of possibly rounded bottoming over here. I need confirmation by taking out this consistent pattern. Now you kind of have. I want to maybe a print above 6.5. Let me throw on the ticker. I'm sorry, guys. Forgot about that. MYSZ. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'll keep this on watch, Tisha. I'm going to throw it an alert. So if this takes out 6.5, I'm going to put it below 6.5 just so that I can have advanced notice of that. So yeah, I'll keep it on watch. Thank you for pointing that out, and I appreciate the super chat, no doubt about that. So we're still in QUBT here, added at 19.25. Well, I got in at 19.25, 19.25, 19 and a fifth. I've got a dip trade set up to defend 19. It got away from 19 too quickly on me, so I wasn't able to weasel in some there. Back to TSLL. Look, still we got the dip trade at 40, so that 40 penny area on TSLL still holding. Right? Look at that. Initially, we were doing the 20 dance where we were bouncing off 33.20s. Now it looks like we're doing the 40 dance where we're bouncing off 33.40s. We still need that big boy break through the area crest. Where's that area crest at, Joseph?
Where?
It's at that 33.88s. we need to take out that 88s, and that's exactly where I've set up for a beak wetter. The next beak wetter is going to be for above that 34 break and take if it shows up. So that's the situation right now. Let's go back to QUBT because it's coming back into 19. We got the ad. Okay, so now area out is below the 18 3/4. We're still holding the 10 exponential on the 5 here on QUBT. So I'm going to continue to base my out based on this area trough. Okay, I'm not going to just guess where to throw stops. I need price action, support, or resistance. So that's where I'm looking. We got the ad. Now let's see if this one wants to weasel back up, Joseph.
Hey, yo, the Fonz. Let's see, guys. Guess what I'm in? Yeah, I bet you could guess that because it is very simple. So let's see. We're in this IBIT. I like the way the volume weighted average price is trending with this underlying asset here. So let's see if we can continue on that path. I would love to see this thing go back to like 58 or anything like that. It'd be sunny days on that front. So again, sunny days. Yeah, big Greece fan. I like Greece there. But yeah, guys. Wow, Microsoft still climbing higher. SPY still climbing higher. I just sound like a broken record at this point. Everything is absolutely buzzing. There's no doubt about that. It's a good day in the market. You can't complain on that front whatsoever. We are slowly starting to recover there, folks. So let's see what's going on. Are you going to engulf yesterday's daily candle? Yeah, let's take a look there, Adrian. I like that idea. I think we are going to, as of now, because look at the session we put in this far, right? So yeah, it's already engulfed there, my guys. So there we go. Nice engulfing candle there. Not the best turnaround signal, and I don't know how genuine this volume print is. It must be off. I think it is because maybe we'll wait till it closes and then get that actual genuine print. But as of right now, yeah, we're engulfing that pattern right there. Could be a nice bullish sign. And on this front, if we do decide that we want to sit on top of this range, then I do think we can go and test these highs, and probably by early next year. So we'll be looking forward to that. There's no doubt about that. Looking to buy dips, and I think a lot of people on Wall Street are just looking to buy dips as well too. Tom Lee said, yeah, you buy just any dip essentially in this market and don't even think about fighting it because we just continue to climb higher. The fundamentals are backing these stocks right now, so continue to monitor those and look to get involved. We are squeezing on SPY here, so I don't know if this is going to be any form of toppy price action, but we're starting to really pick up a little bit of steam here. As you can see, these prints are getting significantly larger, so we're going to continue to monitor that. I've never seen a session where we just go completely up like this for the whole day, so I am going to I'm going to sit and wait here for a potential pullback, but as of right now, there's no need to fight the trend. There's nothing signaling us here, Sharif, that this trend is going to turn around at any given moment as of right now. So don't fight that. Don't look to short any of these strong companies, especially when you get into the mega caps like Microsoft, Apple, NVDA. Those are not the folks that you want to be shorting today as of right now. I'm not saying the shorts can't step in, but that's just something I was taught when I was younger and from people that taught me a lot about trading is just do not fight those strong stocks that are trending, and you'll just be pulling your hair out and losing it. Yeah, exactly, Jameson. Essentially a gamma squeeze going on right now. So it's looking really, really nice on the equities front, Sharif.
Sorry, just adding
over
here. All right, Tisha, I'm with you. I'm with you on this MYSZ. Where are we long? 12s. Wet my beak at 25s. Setting up at 33s. I'd like to put a dip trade for what I perceive to be the top end of the bull flag. We're going to wait at 588. Oh, no. I took it out by accident. No. That wasn't the move. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see if we can get back in here. All right, so here we go. It's coming right back in, which is good. It's exactly what I want. Here we go. Let's see this. MYSZ. Let me get it around 6 here, Joseph. We're going to go like this. Where are we at? 595. Okay, so this might have been like here we go. That 580 area. Here we go. Let's throw in some right here. Okay, now I'm going to stop out below the break of the below the break of the $quarter dollar. Are we going to get out there? Let's see if this area holds. If it holds at $$3/4, no, we got stopped out there. Sucks. Okay, we'll get back and we'll talk about TSLA when we get back from Midday.
We're going to take a look here at some of these earnings names, day one earnings names from yesterday. Make sure you vote as well in the poll for whatever ticker you want to see covered on the rundown at 2 p.m. You'll have another chance to vote for 4 different tickers at 1 p.m. We talked a lot about Nike. We talked a lot about FedEx. So I want to talk about some of these earnings plays that we haven't given as much attention today, starting with BlackBerry, which is at day's highs here, up almost 21%. They did miss on sales here, $143 million versus $150.76 million expected. But they did beat on adjusted earnings per share, reporting a profit of 2 cents versus a loss of 1 cent expected. However, their guidance was pretty mixed here for 2025. Total revenue here, they're guiding between 517 to 526. That is well below the estimates of 603.12 million. Their non-GAAP earnings per share here they're expecting a loss of 2 cents per share. So that's in line here with the expectations. So pretty mixed report there for BB, but clearly investors enjoying this move. Then we have here CCL, this Carnival Cruise Lines. They always report earnings a little bit later. So that report came in at 9:15 this morning. Their conference call as well at 10. Nothing huge came out of that conference call. It's worth noting here they did beat here for adjusted earnings per share and for sales. So the sales was really tight here. 5.938 billion versus 5.932 billion expected. So they beat on sales by a hair. It is worth noting here the quarterly sales actually up here 10% year over year. Operating income up 46% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA up 28.9% year over year. So lots of year over year changes to the upside for CCL. Make sure to like and subscribe. Back to the Bash Brothers.
Appreciate you, Adara. All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm actually just looking at the PMP here, man, the Playmaker poll. Oh. Yeah, bang, we got that in no, we're going to throw it up in we're going to throw the poll up in 18 minutes, and then we're going to get in. But guys, I just want to kind of emphasize on something here. So we're essentially a 500 hockey club here, all right? Going to hockey terms. We're about 50% win rate as of right now. But you can see the equity curve when we have a stop loss of $100, but then a risk to a reward of $200. We've only hit that price target once, and we've never been stopped out either. So just keep that in mind. Keeping those RVR skews are extremely important, all right? So that allows us to be correct 50% of the time because we're looking for double the amount of profit than what we're essentially losing. And sure enough, when you hit that, we were like really stagnant for a while here, folks. Like we were just like zigging and zagging up, down, up, down. But then as soon as you hit that one really good price target, that 2-to-1 ratio that we hit, then sure enough, then you get that exponential growth within that equity curve. And that's kind of the aim of this kind of this experiment that we're doing, right? And just to see from an algorithmic standpoint, is this strategy potentially profitable? And sure enough, it's showing up that it is. But guys, let's talk a little bit about TSLL. As we punch through the high a day on Tesla, slowly coming in back a bit here, but I'm going to take a little bit off just at this high a day because I don't know if we're going to reject it and then come back into this range. But if we don't and continue to the top side, then we got the majority of the position still on. So, but I just want to emphasize on one thing because this trade is far from perfect. Look where I'm in at, okay? I'm in at the top of the range, kind of anticipating a breakout. If I was literally patient for another 5 or 10 minutes, I could have had a significantly better risk to reward ratio on that front. Buying the support system instead of buying into resistance. So I should have waited and got in at support and not anticipated the breakout on kind of lower volume. So again, not the absolute perfect trade, even though it is kind of working out. It's working. But again, there's ways that you can improve all the time, right? You don't want to stay stagnant. You always want to just find the little bits that you can find within your system in order for you to become slightly more profitable and better at what you do, right? So again, IBIT kind of pulling back in, not expecting too much from that thing, but Meta is absolutely roaring to the top side, up to about $600 and change right now, making new highs of days as well too, folks. Let's zoom out and see what it looks like from a daily perspective. Okay, so a little bit lagger, but you can see that we're holding these key support levels on Meta. So you can see that level around 586.07 held to a T. Really nice there on that front. So these mega caps are really participating today, and sure enough, they're dragging the market along up with them. So that's it, man. It's beautiful stuff there, and that's what you need to see, I think.
Yes, sir. So a couple of updates. The situation is now we're still holding on to TSL. Oh, my bad. We're still holding on to TSLL. Wet the beak there through the break of 88s. But as Joseph said, with his analysis, we're just going to let this one ride. where I'm looking for that break and take of the high of the day. We just printed the high of the day, 445.33. Before that, it was 444.40. So we're continuing to respect the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart here on TSLA. It's been less directional than a lot of its counterparts, with many more red candles you can see on the 5 than, for example, an Apple or Microsoft or a Google. Or an Amazon for that matter, more akin to Meta and maybe a little bit of NVIDIA as well, where they're not as directional. So just going to pack my patience with that. I don't have any beak wetters on that because I have no idea where the top is going to be on the day, because we keep printing up higher and higher and higher. When I sat down to trade, we were at 21,500. Now we're at 21,785. Looks like we're going to take 21.8. So I got no idea where the top is. So we're going to let this one chill, and we'll look to assess it as the market continues. We'll react to market conditions. Now, I got stopped out of 2 different stocks, 2 different small cap gappers. Let's talk about those. MYSZ, we were able to eke out some profits over here, and again did it over here, but got stopped out for the rest. I'm going to have to let this one go because it is below the volume weighted average price now on a closing basis. So if it wants to take that 650, the original area that I earmarked right around here to take out that area crest that we had put in earlier in the trading day, I believe that was at around 830. That was actually the pre-market level. We'll get back in. I've still got my alert out on that one, and we'll see what comes from that. The other one that I'm involved, or that I got stopped out of, is QUBT. So this is a bit of a tough one right now. Let's go to that one. So this one, I was basing my trades off entries on the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. It had been awfully respectful of it as it moved up. Looks like the lower end of the ranges were holding up at the 10. That since changed. Looks like we may be putting in a hammer candle now on QUBT off the 20 exponential, looking to defend that 18. If that's the case, if I start seeing higher highs and higher lows subsequent to this candle closing here at 11:45, I'll assess my position then about whether to weasel back in or not. So I'm going to keep my eye on QUBT. If it wants to hold off the 20 off a deeper retracement, makes sense. It's done that in the past where, that more illiquid time of the day will get deeper retracement, so they'll come into the 20 as opposed to the 10. Now, I've weaseled into another trade over here, OPTX. We've been trading this one ad nauseum on the day. So we'll look to weasel back in. Now, it looked like it held 3 on the move back down. It put a doji candle at 3. The subsequent 5-minute candle made a new high. But this candle now, the one that we're currently in on the 5, it's still technically a higher low than the area doji, but it's breaching 3. So my out is below this area right here. So if we make lower lows, I'm done. Right? I saw what I wanted to see. I saw the hold of 3 with a doji candle, and then the subsequent candle made a new high and a higher low. But if that doesn't end up being the case, we're going to cut it. So OPTX on watch, TSLL on watch, and I'll keep my eye on MYSZ. If it wants to take out that 6.5, we'll take it any day. Natoya Thompson, small cap, TNXP. Oh, say less. We've been talking about TNXP for a hot minute now. Let's throw that up. She's got some data there. Small cap, 128 million volume. I don't know why this one always takes a hot minute to load on the chart, but we'll give that one a second. I'm keeping my eye on QUBT over here as it is putting in a hammer candle, looking to take 19. So this might be an entry point for me. I'm going to keep my eye on watch for QUBT. Yeah, I like TNXP. It's not as directional as some of the other small cap gappers today. We'll throw that on TNXP. It's got, a nice little up channel with higher lows and higher highs. You're going to have to get in near the lower end of the range on TNXP. We'll throw that on the side chart. Maybe you replace APTO, which is now well below VWAP. So we'll throw on that bad boy. We'll keep an eye on TNXP. Joseph, what do you got?
Yes, sir. I'm glad that I punched out of this IBIT trade. There's no doubt about that. That volume is starting to step in to the south side there. So yeah. So south side on that front. But yeah, guys, I'm not. You know what? I don't know how I feel about this right now. To be honest with you, quite frankly. So we'll wait. Let's see if we can hold this 54.5 level, and then maybe we can continue to put in that second leg on the session. I was kind of anticipating that we are slightly toppy. So again, this pullback is totally justifiable. There's no doubt about that. So we'll continue to monitor those things. I'm going to look at SoundHound because it is up there on the volume aspect. Again, yeah, you could honestly almost play pin the tail on the stock market and find a winning stock today. There's no doubt about that. You could blindfold me, spin me around multiple times, and I can point at a ticker, and the chances of it being green, Shreve, are extremely high because we don't have a red sector on the day. So really nice Friday leading into the holidays. I'm happy for everybody who's holding in their long-term accounts, who is slowly recovering off of those previous day losses. So that's a good look for everybody on that front. Continue to send me what you guys are looking at in the chat, and we'll go over them. You guys know what's coming in at noon. Yeah, Forex AU. It's true though, man. It's like everything is green. Every ticker that you guys shout out to me is absolutely green. So I looked at JPM, PLTR. Every sector is trading extremely well. So, yeah, absolutely. But guys, we have an ad read right now.
Joseph, VinFast is on fire. For the third consecutive months, it's secured the title of Vietnam's #1 car brand, dominating the market with record-breaking sales. In November 2024, VinFast delivered an impressive 16,000 electric vehicles, setting a new all-time monthly high. But the story doesn't stop there. GSM, VinFast's strategic partner and Vietnam's leading green taxi operator, has officially expanded into Indonesia. With a fleet of VinFast EVs, GSM is delivering rides that are emission-free, noise-free, and fuel odor-free, ensuring comfort and eco-friendliness for passengers. So together, VinFast and GSM are building a green mobility ecosystem, replicating their success in Vietnam, driving sustainability forward in Indonesia. VinFast is shaping the future of transportation. So stay tuned for more exciting developments. I've always been a fan of the VF9. It is definitely a looker. They got the VF6 on there, and you gotta love that blue. I mean, come on now.
I like a blue.
But,
yeah, I'm a blue. Is that your favorite color?
Oh God,
Yeah, same,
far and away.
Same.
Yeah, so shout out there to VinFast. Okay, so we got an ad here on TSLL because, well, it dipped quite aggressively. I don't know if I want this ad anymore. That was a mistake having that ad there, I think, because we had left that ad from earlier. Now, let's see what Tesla wants to do here. It could really drop more aggressively, I think, to about 432.5, possibly, maybe 435 for TSLA. We're at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart on TSLA, but we're bleeding quite aggressively. The future is coming back down into about 21,700. Let's watch to see if this point over here on the future holds 21,700. So we're at that 100 point level, sometimes areas of support and resistance. So we'll look to see exactly what the situation is there. I'm going to get in. So we're going to give this one to below 33. So we're going to sit down possibly right here. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to throw that on there. So where are we long here? We're along 16s. All right, we're in the 20s. Let's see if this one wants to bounce off that level. What else we got over here? Yeah, no, that's TSLA. Yes, we're in OPTX, still holding this one at 302. Looking for an area defend at 85. If this one keeps bleeding, we will be done with that, Joseph.
Yep. I don't know what's going on in the chat, Drop Trades. I'm actually, I don't know what you're talking about. I appreciate the super chat that you put in there, I think. Yeah, okay, Joe, put the blindfold on. What does that mean?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask the kid.
Real bad, man. But yeah, you know what? Someone said, mention this in the chat. We're going to ask the AAPL. Okay, AAPL, so how many trading sessions do we have left in the year, Shreve? Let's count up here.
I don't know.
We got it. So really, yeah, Christmas is the only really holiday, right? Other than New Year.
Half day on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Is it half day Christmas Eve?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, all right. Then so then we got about, we'll call it 3.5 sessions left, all right? Will the market reach all-time highs before the new year? Let's see what we got here.
Let's see.
All right. That's it, folks. We'll leave the anticipation for that.
You're going to leave us hanging?
Yeah, we're going to leave you guys hanging.
You're going to leave us hanging?
I'm going to leave you guys hanging, man. Doing you guys dirty.
It's getting cold.
It says ask again later. So it hasn't made its mind up quite yet. So maybe we'll ask it again later. So, yeah, exactly, folks. PLTR, yes, no. Don't do it, Joe. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have said any. I should have just kept it to myself. Shouldn't I have? That would have been amazing. There's no doubt about that. But guys, yeah, let's take a look at PLTR. And see, yeah, it's just pulling back with the rest of the market here. And one thing that I like to note here is that this pullback isn't very deep nor aggressive on the SPY. So that's really positive on that front. We'll continue to watch this here to see if we can get involved. Probably use the TQQ vehicle in order to get it, in order to participate in the overall market. But this pullback, nice and shallow. That selling volume slightly dwindling, picking up a bit. But maybe we pull back, test some of these key levels. 588 would be totally healthy, but I mean that's like $5 away. So we're putting in a really good session here thus far, Sharif. So I'm having fun with that. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to send it to you, and we're going to take a look at the VIX here.
Absolutely. All right. So we're back into TSLL. We bought at 33. Let's see what we do here. Does the market, and by extension of that, Tesla, bounce off 21,700. We had a bit of an aggressive drop. It wasn't aggressive. That's not even fair. We had a 2-candle pullback on the 5-minute chart from 21,785 down, I believe, into, and we did test that 100-point level. We're back at 4.7s, looking to test 50. So we'll see if this is a more of a just, less aggressive pullback, or whether we dip into something more substantial, maybe a 21.6 retracement or something along those lines. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the situation is. We're in though at the moment. Bang, nice. Okay, here we go. So we bought the lows here on OPTX and looking for this one to take out 310s. Now I'm setting up at 315s. However, we're not out of the woods. This area over here still technically a lower high than this area over here. Here we go. We're about to test that high. Let's see if we can take out 10s here on OPTX. I bought 3s because I saw the Doge and I saw the hold up near that level. Now this is breaching my rules. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm not supposed to buy these small cap gappers south of VWAP. And when I've done so in the past, it's punched me in the face. I've been made to pay. So whether or not we hold up here, we'll see. Statistics tell me that I'll likely end up red on this trade because that's why I have my rules, right? So we'll see if this one wants to reclaim 3. I'm not going to wet my beak here. I'm going to wait for my 15s to come in. Here comes 10s. Let's see, can we take out 10s? We're showing 13s now. Okay, are we curling into 15s? Here's my auctioneer voice. Now let's go, bro. So we did bit of it. Here we got a topping tail through 310, but that ain't gonna cut it. We need more sustained movement here on OPTX. Let's pack our patience. I'm in where I want to be. Let's see if this one curls up. Let's go back to Tesla now. So Tesla holding at around, over here, 436, generally 437. It looks like Tesla possibly here, double bottom at 437. We still have 2 more minutes until this current 5-minute candle closes, but the future is off 21.7. And it's curling back up possibly into the high of the day. We're about 20 points removed from said high of day. If you have a look at the mag, they're all doing a 2 or 3 candle pullback. And now some of them curling back into highs. Apple's at highs, Meta's at highs, Amazon's at highs. Can I keep going?
Keep going.
That's it. Those are the only ones.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll keep an eye on these bad boys. But it looks like we got a decent curl pullback again. I feel stupid trading Tesla when it's clearly the weakest of the 7, bruh.
Yeah, well, I was in it with you too, so.
I know. I don't know why I'm insisting on it. I don't know, because I started with it. It's so stupid. Anyway, maybe it gives me a more opportunity to get a bigger pop back up. Natoya Thompson, don't buy at VWAP is the rule. No. Sorry, Natoya, I misexplained that. Let me explain what I mean on OPTX. So I had 2 rules generally with my small cap gapper stocks. Kind of by extension, almost 3, but you'll understand what I mean in a second. Number 1, they got to have a definable pre-market high, meaning that they have traded in the pre-market, okay? And then after the bell, after 9:30, we have to be trading above that pre-market high. And we also have to be above VWAP. If I see 3 of those conditions, I typically get in and, come what may. So, yeah. So I'm just going to look over here. So, okay, so OPTX did curl up. We wet our beak, but it's still below VWAP. I'm still concerned about this. But we're going to send it to Adara, and then my man Neil is going to do his lesson of the day.
Dang.
We have the S&P 500 getting its first couple red candles in a while here on that 15-minute chart, but still, what a red to green story here for the SPY, up about 1 1/3%. Same with the Qs here, up almost 2% today, so great recovery here for these markets. There's a couple different reasons for that on a larger scale basis. First, at 8:30 a.m., we got lower than expected PCE prints across the board, so PCE for month over month and year over year, as well as core PCE month over month, year over year, all coming in 0.1% below expectations. At 10 a.m., we got another great number here, lower than expected University of Michigan 5-year and 1-year inflation expectations, both down 0.1% compared to the estimate. So good look for those as well. And then around 10 a.m. here, around 10:30, we had comments from Feds Goolsbee that were pretty dovish, saying that while Feds Goolsbee, along with a lot of the other Feds, is expecting, quote, a more shallow approach to rate cuts this year, especially as we await to see what the incoming Trump administration is going to do here for inflation and tariffs, says that he still thinks there's going to be judicious rate cuts in the future, especially in the next 12 to 18 months. There can be a decrease there in rates. So that dovishness in combination with some of these positive economic data prints coming in has been a great look for the markets. Novo Nordisk still bouncing here, now reclaiming 85s. Initially down here 20%, now down about 18% here, after releasing kind of mixed or not as strong as expected data for its CagriSema hybrid weight loss drug here. And then we have Palantir.